Moldova's government has collapsed. Pro-Western Prime Minister Natalia Gavrilita's resignation, adding to a series of crises gripping the small nation since Russia invaded Ukraine.
Gavrilita has told a news conference, "The time has come for me to announce my resignation," saying no one expected her government, elected in the summer of 2021, would have to manage so many crises caused by Russian aggression in Ukraine. The premiership has been marked by a long string of problems, including an acute energy crisis, skyrocketing inflation, and several troublesome incidents linked to the war. A new government will be nominated by President Maia Sandu to be approved by Moldova's 101-seat parliament. I'm Charles de Ledesma.
A driver plowed a car into a crowded bus stop in East Jerusalem earlier today, killing 2 people, including a 6-year-old, and injuring 5 others before being shot and killed. News and analysis, townhall.com. President Biden welcomes his Brazilian counterpart to the White House today.
Supporting Brazil's democracy will be on the agenda when the two leaders meet in the Oval Office this afternoon. Last month, shortly after President Lula took office, a riot broke out as supporters of former President Bolsonaro attacked government buildings. President Biden strongly condemned the riot, and he plans to discuss democratic values today, along with a host of other issues.
That's White House correspondent Greg Clugston reporting. Pennsylvania Senator John Fetterman, he had suffered a stroke during his campaign last year, remains hospitalized in Washington after feeling lightheaded while attending a Democrat retreat. His office says an MRI and other tests have ruled out a new stroke. Doctors, though, are continuing to monitor Fetterman, and they're giving no indication as when the Democrat from Pennsylvania might be able to leave the hospital. More on these stories, townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The traveler said, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning, one and all. Welcome to Mornings with Mike Winters. I am he. That would be me, Mike Winters. Happy Friday.
Yes, indeed.
Super Bowl weekend Friday?
Yep.
So you got a game, even if you don't care about football. You're like, it's a party.
It's a party. Good snacks.
Yeah.
Good friends. Good, well, I was going to say good commercials, but
sometimes.
They're hit or miss this year. Pretty much every commercial that's going to be on this Sunday has already been released.
I feel like we're not going to see a lot of Bitcoin ads this year.
Probably not as many, no. Not as many people taking their own destiny in their own hands.
Yeah, I feel like we're not going to see those this year. You know? I think it's going to be more about potato chips or puffed up chips.
Fortune favors the bold, does it? You sure about that?
Yeah, this is the Super Bowl of puffed up chips. But happy Friday.
Yeah.
Happy McDonald's Friday.
Yes.
That's right. We got delicious McDonald's treats. I got my soda water right here.
Wow.
Cherry
sausage biscuit.
Coke Zero in the fountain. Oh, yeah, you got your
The simple things in life are really the best things, I think.
Con cheese, I see.
Con cheese.
Con cheese. Con queso.
Oh, yeah.
I forget what pig is in Spanish.
American original.
Whatever pig con queso is. I forget what pig is in Spanish.
It's not carne. It's not just meat.
I know dog is perro, and I don't want to say that.
Say pig?
Yeah, pig in Spanish. I don't know what pork is.
Porco.
Is that real?
It's
Or
not
you just saying that?
You're half Mexican. I expect better than that from you.
He said El Porco, by the way, and it's not it. I think.
No.
Oh, Puerco? Yeah. Sean?
It is chancho. Oh, it is puerco.
Puerco? Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, anyway.
Okay. Carne de cerdo or puerco, or in America, chancho.
Well.
Latin America,
if you
chancho.
want to refer to the actual pig, it's Marrano.
Well, that sounds like a lot of words. Sausage and queso.
Indeed.
Moving on.
Yeah.
Happy Friday.
Yeah.
Big thank you to McDonald's. Swing on by any McDonald's near you. And don't forget to utilize the app.
Yes.
Download it. It is your friend. And it gives you exclusive deals. You start earning rewards.
Don't forget two times points at breakfast.
Ah. Is that every day? Or is that today?
I don't know if it's every day, but it's most days.
Okay.
Oh,
sweet.
and a free Big Mac with a minimum purchase of $15 today.
Oh, nice. So,
but it's only available for McDelivery, so you got to get it delivered.
So if they bring it to you.
Yeah.
Yes, Roy.
It's funny. When I worked at McDonald's, the ladies in the back would speak Spanish, and they would call the sausage sashi.
Ah.
Shashi. Sashi.
Well, I know, too, a lot of the words depend on what part of the world you come from. Even, like, say you're from Mexico. What part of Mexico you come from, the words change. So, yeah, it's no different here. I mean, how many times do we hear people talk, like in Boston, and we're thinking, that's even the same language? So it's no different here.
Right. What'd you say? Haba? Haba?
Kyer? You want to hear people talk funny? Go to Baltimore.
Yeah.
Of all places.
Baltimore or like anywhere in Philly.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Philly accents are just whack.
Yeah, I think Baltimore is the worst because that Hun thing is.
Are they the Yuns?
Well, that's more Pennsylvania.
Okay.
But no, Baltimore, they got that Balmer Hun talk. Hey, we're from Balmer Hun. Let's go get some crabs and root on Joe Flacco. That's kind of how they talk.
They have themselves a casserole.
Yeah. What?
I kind of watched a video about that too. Someone sent this Baltimore guy's something called Aaron Earns and Iron Earn, and he pronounces it earns and earn.
Yeah. Baltimore is a different place, man. It's just Baltimore area. You go to other parts of Maryland. Yeah, Maryland's not that big, but you go to other parts of Maryland, we talk. Well, it depends. Down Southern Maryland, my way, we're a little more.
Yeah, you do kind of get that twang a bit.
But when you get up by Balmer area, it's a whole nother. They don't even say Baltimore; it's Balmer. It's hey, we're going Balmer, home. Hey, home, go Balmer, get some crabs. And it's just the way they talk.
Crabs. I don't think I want to do any of those things. Now when you put it like that.
Anyway, go to McDonald's.
Yeah, enjoy.
That's what I'm trying to say.
3 locations in Roswell, 1 in Artesia, 1 in Carlsbad.
Yes.
That's what you're right.
They will take care of you today and go for, I don't know. I still want a fish sandwich.
I'm feeling a fillet of fish today.
I just like.
It's one of those sandwiches that's, you're getting the quality of McDonald's, but it's different enough that it's not like, your standard fast food fare. So you feel like you're upscaling it a bit. You're getting fancy with it.
Yeah. And I love just fish and tartar sauce combo. It's a tasty little.
The best.
Little pair.
Extra tartar sauce and that half a slice of cheese because they know they don't want to overpower the fish with the cheese.
With a steamed bun.
Wow, the steamed bun's the best. You can actually get the filet bun on any sandwich if you ever request it.
I think it's a good idea. I'd like to try a quarter pounder with cheese on a steamed bun.
Oh, that would be good. Oh, the burger might be too big.
Might be. But it might be. But that's not a problem for me.
No.
I've never complained when the meat and the toppings hang over the side of the bun there. Usually it's the other way around. So no complaints from me. So, but swing by any of your McDonald's. They got you covered.
Yep.
And don't forget, use that app and points and saving up. Start accruing free food right now.
Yep.
So
it's we're back to building again because I'm down to like 1,900.
All right.
And had to use some points this last week.
Well, you got some deals today that can kind of enhance those points and get you free food on. See, that's the problem too. Is the deals are good sometimes. It's so hard to use your points.
It is.
And I'm like, well, I would like to get a free food, but they got a 2-for deal right here that I like.
20% off, $5 or more. That's a killer deal.
So yeah, it's that's the real problem. Is there's so many other good things to do? Is you're tempted to veer off from
pulled in so many different directions.
It is. So let me give you the rundown for today's show. Got a couple replays and a visit today. We're going to replay our interview. Joe Nebb, former city manager, joined us in studio yesterday. He's moving on, taking over the position of city manager in Laredo, Texas. And so he's going to, well, if he's going east, he's not riding off into the sunset unless he...
Riding off into the sunrise.
in the morning. But anyway, so, but Joe, we had a great conversation, Joe, talking about his time here in Roswell and talk about some of the things that got done under his time here. So we'll play that for you here in just a few. In the 8 o'clock hour, we'll have Undersheriff Charles Eastless join us here this morning. Sheriff's got some family events to take care of this morning, so he's off with grandkids, which are way more important than us. So while he's taking care of business there, Undersheriff Charles Eastless will be joining us. Gives an update what's going on in the sheriff department. I imagine we'll talk a little bit about I guess they had a few people not wanting to play nice at the jail, so they had to take care of that. Yeah, not like a riot or nothing, just like a group of like
stick time.
Well, I think there was a group of people that were kind of taking over a room or something, so so state and county and everybody else had to go in there.
That's still one of my favorite lines from Reno 911. He just goes, "Little stick time."
So we'll probably get an update from Charles about that and everything else too. And then in the 9 o'clock hour, I thought I'd replay an interview from the 31st of this month because tomorrow the Goddard High and Roswell High Band Boosters have their big events. They got breakfast at Applebee's tomorrow morning with the Goddard High Band Boosters. They've got their Noodles and Notes event at Roswell High that evening for the Roswell Band Boosters. So both band boosters came in on the 31st to tell us about these events. So I figured I'd play them one more time Friday as a last-minute reminder. Say, hey, don't forget, get you some pancakes and spaghetti this weekend.
It's not very often you have representatives from both the Hatfields and the McCoys in one studio.
That's right.
And we pulled it off.
They're together. Sure. And actually, they're the easiest of the bunch because the band people all get along. But
that's the thing is we never had that crosstown rivalry really.
Yeah,
we played together. I mean, when I was in the band, we played with the Goddard kids.
Well, and I know because I went to high school, not here, but I went to high school. I know how high school works. Band's always been on an island. Marching band, choir, orchestra, or whatever musical groups that your school has, they're always on an island.
Yeah,
they're never, it's always a certain group of kids that, you know what I mean? It's just they go and they don't get the spotlight that football does and all that stuff. So I think band mentality just is universal, and they're all kind of like your own kind.
We hold our own up because no one else is going to hold us up.
Yeah, there's always been that mindset there in band. Now it's better. Now I know now in a more evolved world here or whatever, it's it's always been an us versus the world mentality with, I think, band folks. You know what I mean? So.
I used to love at certain games. It didn't happen at every game, but certain games, right after halftime, our drum line would go to the other team, the other side, and have a drum down with their drum line.
Okay,
it was always really interesting, but it's kind of cool. It's like,
is it just like the movie drum line where they get
kind of
close and everything?
They're just then
they beat on the other guy's drum, and it's like, oh no,
cadence versus cadence essentially.
Okay. Then is that like a no when they come up beat on the other guy's drum and you're like, oh no, you didn't?
Oh, I'd imagine, yeah,
because that was drum line. They did all
right.
They were getting, because they got to make it like kind of threatening, so they
I always love it when you got the guys that are playing on theirs and then they start playing on the other ones and they're doing it in sync. Yeah, I always love that.
Yeah,
that's great.
Did y'all try that?
I don't think. I was in the drum line. I was low brass.
I played piccolo,
baritone, and tuba. Thank you very much. Tuba for one semester, and I'm more known as the tuba player than I was ever known as a baritone player.
Okay,
it's like I barely played tuba.
What was more fun?
Tuba.
Okay, like could you play tuba today?
Maybe I don't really have the embouchure anymore. I'd have to get it back.
If you had all the equipment, could you bust out a tuba song?
Well, yeah, embouchure is the lip like placement of the. I could probably eventually with a little bit of practice, but right off the bat, I could make a sound out of it. I could probably play a scale. I still remember most
That's
of
the biggest achievement. I made it make noise.
Yeah. I still remember the treble clef C scale.
Okay.
Which is just basic do, re, mi. So I could probably bust that out.
Okay. How about some hot cross buns?
Maybe.
Just the top 3 notes from the recorder.
Yep.
I played it with the magic tuba.
You did?
It was the mystical, invisible tuba.
I caught that.
All right. 18 minutes. All right, we got to get the interview going, and I'm getting worse. So it's 18 minutes after 7 o'clock. Let's go ahead and take a look at your weather. I think it's a kinder, gentler weather for the next day or two. Yeah. And then I think we got like rain like Sunday night, Monday. But here you go. Here's your weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Pretty good looking weekend coming up. Temperatures will be warming up tomorrow and especially on Sunday with high pressure over our area. Upper 40s and sunshine today. Will be clear for the overnight hours. Our low near 20. And then we're in the upper 50s and sunny on Saturday. A little bit breezy. Some clouds on Saturday night. A mix of sun and clouds. And we're in the upper 60s on Sunday. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 21 degrees. It is chilly out. It's not windy, but chilly. It's cold to the bone, but it is going to warm up. Not today so much, but more this weekend. 21 right now. Humidity is at 81% with winds out of the west 5 miles per hour. Sunny today. We're not getting out of the upper 40s. 48 for officially what they're saying. Winds out of the north at around 5 miles per hour. Tonight's going to be chilly. 19 for an overnight low with south winds at around 5 miles per hour. Tomorrow, be warming up a bit. We'll be near 60, 58 is what they're officially saying, but mostly sunny, 58 for a high, 5 to 10 mile an hour winds out of the southwest early. Later for the afternoon, shifting to the south, picking up 10 to 15. So not too bad for wind tomorrow. Saturday night, mostly cloudy, overnight low of 30, south winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. For you, Super Bowl Sunday will be in the upper 60s, mostly sunny or partly cloudy, 68, so not almost 70, but not quite. Southeast winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Sunday night, we're looking at a 20% chance of showers after midnight. See, they've downgraded those rain chances. They were talking 40, 50%. Now it's 20, 30. Sunday night, 20% chance of showers after midnight, so no Super Bowl parties should be messed up due to weather. And then Monday, you're looking at a 30% chance of some rain showers, partly cloudy, highs right around 60, 30% for Monday night with an overnight low of 34. And then they're talking Wednesday, like a 20% chance of some rain and snow showers. So, yeah, they've kind of backed off the percentages for Sunday and Monday's precipitation, but there's still some chances. All right, 7:21, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and then after that, we'll go and play our interview with Joe Nebb, former city manager. That's up next. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Oasis Computers has been Roswell's trusted source for home and small business computers for over 30 years, and they continue to be your best resource for computer repairs, operating system upgrades, web root managed, antivirus, special orders, and more. Oasis Computers is now open from 8 to 1, Monday through Friday to better serve you. Service calls by appointments and after-hour appointments are available too. Stop by Oasis Computers at 1703 North Garden or call or text 575-625-9141 for even faster service.
Jennifer from Trustmark Roofing here, and I can tell you it's not always easy being a female in a male-dominated business like roofing. I remember one time I was at a meeting to bid on the roof for a local college, and it was me and 13 men. Well, I won that bid, and I'd like to win your business too. My dad was a contractor, and I've been around building and roofing my whole life. I'm licensed and bonded, and I've forgotten more about roofing than most roofers ever knew in the first place. But what really sets Trustmark apart is an obsessive attention to detail that ensures that everything goes smoothly the first time. I promise we will treat you right with respect, and we will make you happy. So yeah, it might be a bit odd for a woman to own a roofing company, but give us a try. Let us give you an estimate for your roof. I think you'll be glad you called. For all your roofing needs, call us at 575-755-ROOF or find us online at TrustmarkRoofPros.com.
Trustmark Roofing, we put people first.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. There are 293 ways to make change for $1. Try all 293 on the guy who keeps borrowing money from you. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 21 minutes after 9 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning, former city manager here for Roswell, Joe Nebb, with us, or back with us, actually. We've had Joe on a few times before. Morning, Joe. How are you doing today?
I'm doing really well, Mike. Thank you for having me.
Well, thank you for spending some time with us. I know I'm sure you got a lot on your plate right now as you move on to your next phase in your life here. And, of course, you're taking on basically the same job you did for us here in Laredo, Texas. So,
yes, sir. Yes.
So I imagine it an exciting time for you and your family as you get ready for new adventures and all that stuff. So I imagine busy packing, and or you gotten. How close do you like packed up ready, or you're like, oh man, I got a ways to go?
You know, we've been working on it for a little while, but of course you accumulate a lot of stuff over time, and every one of our pieces of junk is a treasure. And so,
is there going to be a yard sale at the Nebb residence this weekend?
We may have to have one. We are selling the house, and so
sure.
Please look online. It's available.
Sure. Well, it's a hot real estate market. I think you'll sell your house pretty quick around here.
I think it's good.
But for folks that don't know, of course, how many years did you serve as the city manager? It's quite a few. I just don't...
It was 5.5.
I think it was around 5.
Yeah. April 17th, 2017.
There you go. And
when
so about 5.5 years serving as our city manager. And first off, for me and for many else, thank you for your service to the community. I know not every day is a picnic, but you did a lot of great things to help, create new opportunities. And really, for folks that aren't familiar, the city manager job, they're kind of the person that runs the city. I mean, they're the highest non-elected official in the city government. So basically, now he answers your marching orders to the mayor and the city council. But at the end of the day, you're the one that gives everything to the city council. Whenever they're making decisions about various ordinances or budgets or all that, it's the city manager that's getting that information, presenting, having the various departments put their budgets together. You're the one that's coordinating everything that kind of gets presented at a city council meeting.
I started using an analogy of an hourglass as being an example of it. So
sure.
In the top bulb, you've got the elected officials that are delivering a vision. They're delivering the policies, the processes. They're creating the laws of that. And then in the bottom bell, you have all of the staff, all the resources to get the work done.
Sure.
City manager is that little spot in the middle. And so as long as it's open and as long as the channel's moving, you've got information moving a couple different directions.
Sure.
I really always looked at my my job as being a translator, of taking that vision from these elected officials and translating it out to staff and vice versa.
Sure.
Because there's that synergistic
making the dream
relationship.
Reality, or making the
it is. They have to work together in order to accomplish the services for the city.
Yeah, it's kind of a finely tuned orchestra there when you do some of that stuff. But and that's, so you kind of act as that liaison, because and also when there is a problem that arises where city council wants to go this direction, but maybe the citizens are going in a different, you're also that person that says, all right, let's set up the meetings, let's see, and let's work out these issues. And so you're also, when you're also kind of guiding and orchestrating the city and how it does its thing, you're also playing referee a little bit for the various entities to make sure that they're all on the same page.
Yeah, I think referee is a good term. Coach, cheerleader, it's a little bit of everything, right?
Sure.
And it is, and it's to make sure that you create those opportunities where the elected officials can hear from the entire citizenry and vice versa and everything, because we're all human. We're all different based upon our experiences, based upon a lot of different skill sets and everything. Mm-hmm. So we look at life all differently. So the whole idea is to try to pull that together so you can move in one direction, and
sure.
it's a challenge at times, because you got certain personalities that are stronger than others.
Yeah,
and you want to make sure that I think the best run cities are the ones that have really good diversity and can hear all the voices.
Mm-hmm.
because they make the best decision. And that's what I've always appreciated with Roswell. 10 city councilors and an elected mayor, 11 individuals there looking out for the city of Roswell.
The largest in the state, by the way.
Largest in the state. And I will tell you that it's just a thing of beauty when they are in sync and when they are taking care of business that way. It is really nice.
Absolutely. And another beauty of it, and this is a beauty of it, is, let's face it, we all know this part of the state, we're generally a conservative-leaning public. You know, most of the people that live and call Roswell home are generally conservative. I'm not saying everyone is, but generally. But if you look at the makeup of our city council, I would argue that that's not the case at all. You've got the full spectrum of from our 10 representatives to folks that lean very liberal in that ideology to very conservative. So we have an amazing mix of that, which is exactly what you want on a city council.
And I would agree. I think that diversity is just so important.
Yeah.
And they have, and you know, and the cool thing is, even when they disagree and when they fight, I mean, you can read about it in the news and everything, but really, they respect each other. They are working toward each other, and is at times they just don't hear each other.
Sure,
you know, and so the idea is to get it done.
Well, and let's face it, every one of our city councilors, they care and love this community deeply, or they would not be doing the job that they're doing for. Because they're not doing it for the power, fame, and glory, because there's none of that to be had in that position. It's a lightning rod position. Even, you know, the mayor really is a lightning rod, but each city councilor, they got their own stick on their forehead, too, waiting for a lightning bolt. But the thing is, it's just we all come from different backgrounds and passions, and we all want this city to be great. And that's where the debates happen, because some people think it should go in this way, that way, and that's where the debates happen. And that's where the city manager is like saying, all right, well, let's make sure all voices are heard. Let's see where all things, so we can give all the information possible. So when the city council does make a definitive move in a direction or another, they've had every single aspect covered before they make that decision.
Right.
And that's really, at the end of the day, kind of what the city manager makes sure they've got the tools to do their job. The people that have to make the city run have the tools to do their job, too. So when the city council says, make everything purple, he says, all right, well, let's make sure we've got everything we need to make everything purple. You know?
I've always said, if I can make sure that the staff and the employees have the tools to do their job, the city manager's job gets really, really easy. Because they're out there doing fantastic work, they're taking care of the people and everything. And
you're just there to put out fires.
It's to deal with those exceptions to the rule.
Sure, absolutely.
So
let's ask. Looking back to your 5.5 years here, obviously you came to Roswell with a lot of experience as a city manager, and you're going to take that with you when you go to Laredo. Yes. But let me ask, how much have you grown in the last 5 years as the city manager of Roswell? What's lessons learned? What are things that you kind of say, okay, this is what I'm taking from my Roswell experience with me to Laredo? What's those things?
And really, I'll talk a lot more about Roswell than Laredo right now as well too. But there's a lot of similarities there. And let me start with the people. First off, is that the people are fantastic. I mean, everybody within this ribbon from Canada to Mexico in this ribbon, they're true people. They are down their heart. They'll say it how they mean it. They are just perfect. And so it's really easy to work for individuals like that. But you take it out from there, and I just remember back when I first got here, the challenges for Roswell was more on its focus than anything else, because it's and I'll use Mayor Kintai's process with that. It's an oasis. It is an area that we have people coming and going. It's regional trade hub. You know, a lot of different ways to say that.
We're Mecca for other parts of the state.
But if you want to go anywhere else, you got a little ways to drive. or
we're like that rest stop between the next big destination for a lot of folks. Yeah,
and Laredo has those similarities too. So it's really cool about that. But when I first got here, you know, the thing was trying to re-engage with the public, re-engage with that. I can remember that there were some billboards out there with the unions, the police unions, the blue collars.
Yeah, I remember. About the time you joined here, there was a little bit of contention there.
It was a really tough time because the city council was not able to express themselves well enough to the employees that they mattered, that they were important. And so when I got here, we started to shift that entire model and said, we're going to take care of the employees. Every budget I put together for the last 5 years started with taking care of the people first, then the resource, then the services, and then to the capital projects. And and I'm sorry to tell everybody out there that cities do not have enough money to take care of everything. There is so much money to go around, and so you have to take care of the highest priorities first, and you work your way down.
Sure, yeah, because I mean, if it was the case, then every city would be paved in gold and have beautiful. But that's not the case.
So we established a whole different classification compensation plan for the employees, and we were able to get minimum salaries to increase over the last 5 years over 20%. Because the challenge was we weren't able to hold on to people. The police department was indicative of that. We would train people, and then they would go be police officers elsewhere because they would pay better.
Yeah, we were supplying other departments with some highly qualified people.
Yeah, and this whole shift has allowed us. We have actually more laterals coming back to us now.
Good,
because of that structure.
Create that environment, a different environment.
So we always put people first. And that goes into the other thing that I'm really proud of what we were able to accomplish was just the outreach to the public. We established a very simple, it's a database called the Fix-It form.
Okay, yeah.
It's online, and the problem is that we would get phone calls, and we'd say, well, I told so-and-so that they need the pothole was out here. And it would never get fixed. Well, this created a very nice system that those that are sitting at home at 2:00 in the morning worrying about that pothole or that dog barking could put the information in, and we kept track of it. It was digital, and so we were able to work all the way through with that. The other things that we did citizen surveys. We did a couple of them. Again, there's no surprise that our biggest challenges are streets, crime. And the favorite service I think for everybody is the fire department. So it was it walks all the way through the gamut of over 39 different services out there.
And for folks that don't know, and if you don't know, I think you had your head in the sand for the last 5 years, but that's something that you as a city manager have always. I mean, even during COVID, when we're not supposed to be gathering and all that, you were still doing what you could to keep the public informed through virtual public meetings. Obviously once the COVID subsided, we can go back and sit in rooms and look at each other. But even during COVID, you were still having these public forums and things, obviously in a virtual form, but in an attempt to keep the public and the city on the same page on what the needs are and how to address them.
Yeah, I think the pandemic was a really nice thing. And I'll even go back a little farther. Before I got here, in 2015, the city of Roswell, the employees did not have a City of Roswell email account.
Yeah, see, that's another thing. We were kind of in the Stone Age before you came in when anything technology related. And so that was probably your first challenge was getting.
And so it was I guess the thing that we always preached was one voice, one Roswell. Because somebody calls the city, they didn't know who they were really talking to. They knew they were talking to the city. So it didn't matter, if it was a dog problem that they're calling.
You're supposed to be the catch-all, fix-all.
That's
and
right.
It's like I don't even know what that is.
So the whole thing is that we have to make sure that we have this interconnection through these services, because the worst thing to do is to say we're going to do one thing and then not follow through.
Sure.
And so it was. So this outreach and the pandemic was. I think it just put us in a faster cycle to come up, bring our technology up and everything. Now everything could work virtually if it had to. We just like the more interaction with the public.
Just a gee whiz, what if? Say you guys weren't so proactive when you first got here with this. How different, in your opinion, would have COVID, us trying to navigate? Say, obviously you still had to do a lot of place, but you at least had a place to start. By the time the pandemic hit, you already had some things in place. It's like, okay, that infrastructure is already in place, thank God. But let's say you came in and didn't go in that direction, and we hit. Like, how different do you think Roswell would look to us right now had these things didn't? Just gee whiz curious.
Yeah. Well, and really, I think Roswell's still feeling the effects of the pandemic.
Sure.
I mean, we're still feeling the carryover. We're still, I mean, all the conversations going on in the city is still there. It would have been really, really difficult. I don't think we could have made some of the good decisions that we did through the pandemic if we had not already had that momentum.
Sure.
In order to do this outreach. And, it's I look at it with economic development as well, too, is that, before a business even looks at coming to Roswell, they're Googling, they're stalking us on.
That's the first. They did it long before they even talked to us.
They know all the information. I think when it comes down to when you start to get them in the door, now they're looking at the relationship. They're looking at who you really are, and can I do business here? Can I do that?
Sure.
And I would say that you see that within the healthcare industry. You see that within all these industries that we rely upon.
Sure. And I will say this, and this is a credit to the entire city, from obviously you to the city council to all the departments. The city of Roswell with this the cannabis and how the state handled that. They basically, legislature just passed it, and then the state said, y'all figure out how to do it. We're not going to give you really any structure or guidelines on that. Figure it out, but you're going to do it by this date. And a lot of cities struggled with doing that, and Roswell did a really good job of first coming up with a plan, saying this is going to be our rule book for how we handle cannabis in Roswell, and then B, getting everyone else on board there. I know I saw lots of stories in the news where other cities and municipalities can't figure it out, and I even heard a lot of people said, well, look what Roswell's doing, maybe we can emulate what that's going on. So I think in the last here post-COVID, one of the biggest crisis our state and communities have had to handle is figuring out how to get on board with legalizing cannabis. And regardless of your feelings on cannabis, I think the city of Roswell did an amazing job on getting a plan in place and getting executed in a relatively pain-free way.
On the front side of that whole legislation and everything for at the city level, Roswell created a more restrictive ordinance in order to regulate. It wasn't to penalize the industry or anything. It was to make sure that we protected the integrity of our neighborhoods and all of those pieces in there. We understood that what the law was. We understood what it was, and so while we were a little more restrictive, and I would say that all of our businesses that are here, they may have struggled at the front side of this thing. They all understood what we were after.
Everyone's going through a learning curve.
It became a very good partnership afterwards.
Sure.
I know we had a couple sponsors at the UFO Festival last year as well too. Very, very nicely done. And a lot of people used Roswell's legislation in order to help develop theirs.
And here's the other thing, and correct me if I'm wrong, but you guys took input from the businesses, from the people that are doing this, and saying, what you're seeing. So it wasn't just like, you all sat in a room and said, here's the rules. You took all angles and said, okay, how do we make it easier for you, but at the same time protect our citizens? And they worked with you guys on that. So the rules that ultimately came out was kind of a compromise between the cannabis industry and municipalities.
Anytime you can get the stakeholders at the table, you make better decisions.
Absolutely.
And I think that's what that strength of the council has been with that side.
Yeah. And so, so things like that. So let's go converse real quick. So we got about a few more minutes here.
Okay.
Anything you missed the mark on? Anything you're like saying, man, if I had more time, I'd do this? What, things you wanted to get done, you didn't get a chance to do?
We had a lot of momentum going, and any time, even if we would have changed one individual on the elected body, It changes the dynamics of that council.
Sure.
It brings a new voice to the table. We did a lot of orientation early on, trying to get everybody brought up to speed with how we got to today.
Yeah.
I would say that, some of the pieces that are out there right now, and it's probably more of the current events that are happening now, some of the things that we're tackling, like the MERP,
that's a hot button issue right now.
It was it's a very complex situation that I wish we could have done a little bit better job of explaining exactly how it works, because it's really difficult when somebody doesn't understand it and they think it's wrong.
Well, that's where the confusion. It seemed like in the legality, some people were confusing what's legal versus not legal, and so people, and rightly so, if people are worried about, hey, that's illegal, then we need to make sure. But also at the same token, all right, well, is it legal? We don't know. We need to vet it out and talk about it. So.
And it's all based upon the personality of the council as to what their willingness to do is. But those were complex issues.
Sure.
And having a shift of the council, 40% of the council changed, new mayor and everything. Getting that information into their hands quick enough so that they could make a decision, because I'm sorry, for every elected official, I congratulate them. I say, I'm so sorry for you now.
Right.
Because it's a tough job.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, well, that's the joke I do all the time whenever I give those. Congratulations and condolences. I mean, I joke when I say it, but that's kind of the point. You're like, be careful what you wish for. You just got a whole heap of work handed to you here. So, that's the beauty of it. And so really at the end of the day, I think what was not our friend there was just a bad timing thing. It was a changing of a guard moment. And it was probably something that we probably need the same people in the room to get some continuity to the whole thing.
And I look at it. I mean, we're coming out of COVID. We're doing we hit a lot of the marks, and there's a lot of stuff that didn't never fit right.
Sure.
Right. And so, looking at the coach, looking at a change, it's okay. It's hopefully it will help Roswell move to that next step as well too.
Sure. Well, and at the end of the day, we want to make sure we promote local, do local, but at the same time, we want to do it right and legally and give opportunity for everybody. And that's where you got to have that balance, because you got to be careful in any government entity. I don't care what level it is. You can't show favoritism. You can't show preferential treatment to anyone because, well, I mean, I'm not naive. I know it happens all the time and does it every time in government, but as a true transparency, you can't do that kind of thing. And I will say the fact that we're seeing these debates and everything going on is a good thing, because we're seeing that transparency in action and what's going on.
I would agree.
So for the city council to have these debates, to have it in a public forum, for people in the newspaper, on the radio talking about it, that's nothing but good stuff. So we can make sure we get it right. Right. Sure, there might be someone that has a feather ruffled at the end of the day, but we did it the right way, and that's what's important, especially when it comes to government work.
I agree, and I always look at it as we're spending other people's money in order to provide the services that we're doing.
Yeah,
and so that transparency is so important.
Absolutely. So, what are you taking away from your time here in Roswell? What's been some of your things that you just enjoyed the most, or things that you truly made it home for you?
It's the people.
Yeah.
It truly is. There are so many people in Roswell that care, that want to make a difference, and they're so giving of their time, so giving of their spirits. One of the things that Beth and I enjoyed was being the United Way sponsors for that 1 year.
Oh, yeah.
And we were early into the community, but we were given that opportunity to help, and I'm a big proponent of United Way, and actually most of the nonprofits out there, because these are groups of volunteers. The cities are the same. Cities provide services.
Sure.
Cities are doing all of that. What makes it the difference for every community is the people, and these nonprofits that are giving of their time to make this difference of their mission and everything. That's what sets every community apart.
Absolutely.
And I Roswell's in my heart, and it'll be there forever. Anything I can do to help in the future, I'm there, and I have a new family that I will be learning a lot about, and hope to do the same thing and just make a positive difference in their community.
I imagine, Laredo, of course, they're not quite as deserty as we are here, but you'll stay in enough warm enough weather where you can will you be able to now? Have you adopted an addiction to green chili since you've been here, or and if so, are you able? Do you have a connection to get you some more from in Laredo?
You know, there'll be regular pilgrimages up to New Mexico to bring back red and green.
There you go, get you some chili.
But you know, the really neat thing with even Laredo is, so we have Laredo on one side of the Rio Grande, and on the other side is Nuevo Laredo.
Okay.
The Mayor Trevino mentioned that they consider themselves one community.
Okay.
And there's 4 bridges that cross that bring goods back and forth across the border and everything. And so that relationship is so synergistic for them that, it's I can't wait to try out some more.
Sure. Well, that's a unique, and that's a unique, because that's something that you'll probably first time ever experience something like that, because I imagine Roswell and certainly the other cities you've managed don't have. That's a unique thing to Laredo here, so that's cool. Yeah. Where each challenge is unique, because I imagine like when you came to Roswell, that's its own challenges too. Because let's face it, it's a town of 50,000, which is not a large town in any way, shape, or form in terms of population. But I guarantee you can go to any country on the planet and ask them if they know or heard of Roswell, New Mexico, and they can say yes. And so that's a unique challenge when you have a town of this size that everybody and their uncle knows, with the population of us, but with the recognition of a New York City. I mean, that's a very unique thing to have. So it in and of itself creates its challenge, both good and bad. I mean,
both good and bad. Yeah. And but I think that's why that brand is so important. So in Laredo, the bridges. So it's the goods traveling back and forth between these two nations. That's their bread and butter. For Roswell, I mean, Roswell's got a very diverse set of resources. I mean, the air center, the dairy, the hospital systems, and everything. But it has that brand out there that can help lift all of this as well too. And the more we capitalize upon that brand, the stronger that we can raise all the ships for that. And I think that was one of the things that we tried to do in the last 5 years, was reinvigorate that as well.
Absolutely.
And make sure that everybody is receiving that benefit.
Absolutely. So we've got a few minutes. Crowning achievement. If when you look back at your time here in Roswell, what's the one, if you could put one thing that you'd say I'm most proud of? Like, I am so happy that got done while I was city manager of Roswell.
There's so many, and
that's what I was saying. Can you narrow it to one?
and and I'll get it down to one. It's probably, it was our response to the pandemic.
Gotcha.
We irritated the governor every once in a while just because of the spoken and whatever else was going on.
But again,
it wasn't intentional.
That's how good government works.
That's right.
If you just blindly follow things, sometimes you know what happens.
I mentioned earlier about how important the employees are and taking care of them. So during the pandemic, just the shutdown on the businesses, nobody knew how that was going to act, and nobody knew what was going to happen. We cut $31 million out of the budget. We cut 101 jobs. 46 of those jobs actually had people in them. But what we were able to do is that and this was working with Councilor Perry, a lot of the city councilors at that time. But what we did is that we found a way to allow an employee to leave with a 3-month severance, or to buy out 1 more year to get an early retirement. It cost us $800,000 to do that project. It saved us $2.5 million.
Not to mention, a few people said, you know what, I'd love to retire early and things. They're at that point, and rather than cut someone on the other end that you're going to need for the next 20 years, let's go off into the sunset and let's bring them in.
And we knew if we released anybody into the economy, it was going to impact our recovery as well. And so the whole idea was, we had 46 people take us up on that, and save $2.5 million within that structure. We took everybody else that we had and we moved them into essential services, because we couldn't run some of the museums, the zoo.
Obviously, there's no need for a library right now if no one can go in it and open it.
So we moved individuals into different departments the impact of the city being affected by the pandemic and the structure that we had was negligible because we did not put people onto the street.
Mm-hmm.
And
I'm very curious. I imagine at the end of the day, some of those employees that got a chance to do a different job in the city might have ended up staying, kind of saying, well, yeah, I used to work at the library or whatever, but I actually had more time, more enjoyable time over at the water department or wherever they were kind of reschedule that. So I imagine you probably got a few employees that stayed in those areas and turned out they liked that area better than what they were doing with it.
It is, and we did voluntary reassignments every year as well too, and that was just taking a few of our employees saying, "Hey, we're going to go help out this department."
Yeah,
and that whole structure was to build that relationship with One Roswell, and so we did. You find that. Individuals would have a skill set for these areas that they never even thought was possible when they first started.
Yeah, and that's cool. That's kind of a cool side with it too. And but yeah, I can see why why that, because at the end of the day you were handed a big old bag of garbage and said make a gourmet meal out of this, and you guys as best you could did that, know, and that's.
Mike, I went out and bought a crystal ball that sits on my desk, and I'll be taking it with me because everybody started asking, well, what's going to happen?
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't know. I mean, this is a Harry Potter quality crystal ball.
Let's check. Come here.
Because it's like, yeah, here, you use it. I kind of joke. It sat on my desk for 2 weeks, and I said, oh, it's upside down, and I turned it over. But for those of you that may not know, a crystal ball doesn't have a top. But
it's the ball.
And it was like, I leaned on a lot of different people. I mean, we talked with Excel. We talked with a lot of businesses out there as to what do you think is going to happen with this? And nobody understood what the impact of downtown would be or anything else.
It was uncharted territory.
It was. Yeah. We did fine through it. Most of our businesses, we lost a few to it, and that were just, they were paycheck to paycheck kind of businesses. And hopefully we'll be able to help bring them back over time.
Absolutely. So. It's one of these things we pick up, it's no different than we lost so many people and things. We've got to recover and move on from that. And it's no different when it comes to businesses and everything else too. Yeah. But we're getting there. We're getting back to, thank goodness we're getting to a place where, that seems like it's farther in the rearview mirror versus more of what's coming ahead. So
Roswell has a lot of exciting things coming. I'm not as in tune as I was, but I know there's a lot of different businesses looking. We have that asset out there with the Air Center. We have all those different types that we've talked about. We're seeing that advancement, and so that's a good thing. If we can get more, if we get more opportunity, then that just helps build our people even better.
Sure. So, last question. As you move on, any words of advice to the city? Things you'd like to say? Hey, we got this here, but keep an eye on this while I'm gone. Is there anything that you any advice, any wisdom for the folks that are left to keep going after doing the job here?
Probably the one thing I will say, and what I learned through all of the interviews and everything else is that there's a lot of people out there with great technical skills. They have the degrees, they have all the background and everything else. At the end of the day, it is about the relationships. And so the word of advice I would have for everybody is lean on each other in order to get the work done. We make a lot fewer mistakes when we have more people in the room than we have less. And now it's challenging. It's like herding cats at times.
But a lot of voices.
It is worth it. At the end of the day, you make less mistakes. If everybody thinks the same way, oh my goodness, it's not a good thing. It's you're going to go down a path and just run into that wall and just keep running into the wall.
Got to get back to that part we were talking about the council.
It is the debate. It is the conversations that you have. It's the challenges that you have within that structure. So, but lean on each other, because I've never met an elected official, I've never met an employee that truly wants to ever do a bad job. They want to do the best that they can for whoever it is.
Yeah.
And so the idea is that you focus on that, and I told Laredo, I said, where a lot of people see problems and issues, I see challenges to overcome, and I see opportunity to succeed. That's the difference between that structure. You can either focus on the bad or you focus on the good, and you keep building that good.
Absolutely.
And so that'd be my words of advice to anybody. And again, I will help wherever I can with anybody.
Well, I can say this from me personally, and I'm sure you've had quite a few other residents talk to you here, and we'll talk to you before you head on to Laredo here. But thank you for your service to this community. Thank you for leading us and navigating and helping us over this last 5.5 years. And was every day a victory? No, but we are appreciative that every day you were fighting and helping to make this a great place. And I would say Roswell is a better community today than it was 5.5 years ago before you joined us here. So
Mike, thank you. And and the same for you as well too. The work that you do here at the radio and everything is very important for that connectivity of the city. It's so important. So thank you.
Some people would probably disagree, but
I think we all have that kind of a fan club. But
I never lie. I'm a full-on idiot, and I'll admit it. But I'm an idiot that's going to get you to learn stuff.
That's right.
Don't be like me. Thank you, Joe. We appreciate it, and hopefully we get to see you from time to time, and maybe a UFO festival. You and the missus can come back to town and eat up some foods and some fun.
We might very well crash back over. Yeah.
Perhaps participate in the costume contest or something. you and Mrs. Knapp just sit there in your alien themed.
We might have to.
Maybe a Cowboy Laredo / alien theme thing going on.
I'll start working on it now.
Perfect. Thank you, sir. We appreciate
Yes, sir.
All right, it is 9:57. Let's take a quick break before we wrap up today's show.
Your home for Sean Hannity in Roswell. 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, Roswell, New Mexico.
This hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. Been a series of dramatic rescues in Turkey. Survivors pulled from the rubble 4 days after the catastrophic earthquakes that left more than 20,000 people dead.
In Diyarbakir, a large crew of rescuers applaud after a woman, Sahabat Vali, and her son Serhat are rescued 4 days after the earthquake and moved carefully to a waiting ambulance. However, with morgues and cemeteries overwhelmed in many areas of the Turkey quake zone, bodies lie wrapped in blankets, rugs and tarps in the streets of some cities. Temperatures remain below freezing across the large region. The government's distributing millions of hot meals as well as tents and blankets, but still struggling to reach many of the people in need. I'm Charles Dilladesma.
Allegations of the political weaponization of the Justice Department under the Biden regime being investigated by a special House subcommittee chaired by Republican Jim Jordan.
Protecting the First Amendment shouldn't be partisan. Protecting the Constitution shouldn't be partisan.
Jordan says Republicans have heard from dozens and dozens of FBI whistleblowers, many of whom, he says, face retaliation for speaking out. GOP Senator Rick Scott setting the record straight on Social Security and Medicare, specifically President Biden's claim that Republicans are out to gut those programs.
The senator has released a statement where he says, quote, Joe Biden spent 20 years trying to slash Social Security and Medicare. He then offered to debate the president on the issues, adding, quote, Floridians deserve to know the truth about Biden's war on Social Security and Medicare, end quote.
Correspondent Ken Lorman. On Wall Street, the Dow is down 62 points and NASDAQ off 103. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Everybody wants cheap airfare, but where do you find it? You call low-cost airlines. Their prices are direct from the airlines, and they're so low you can't find these fares published anywhere. They specialize in cheap flights, discount hotel rooms, cheap car rental rates, and great package deals anywhere around the world. Wherever you want to go, they can help you get there cheaply and with a best price guarantee. If you want the lowest prices on your airline tickets or other travel services, call now. That's right, call. That's the only way to get these rates. Experts are standing by 24/7 to get you the cheapest airfare and hotel rates available. So don't wait. Call right now for the lowest travel prices anywhere and for great last-minute travel deals too.
Call 866-755-5300. That's 866-755-5300. Again, that's 866-755-5300. Call us right now.
Concern in the British Parliament that since the bungled withdrawal of Western forces from Afghanistan, the country has again become a safe haven for terrorists.
The MPs call the UK's withdrawal from Afghanistan a dark chapter in British military history, not just for the troops who served there, but also for those Afghans who helped them, who've been left behind. The House of Commons Defence Committee says the speed of the collapse was a greater surprise to the military establishment than it might have been, and the government needs to conduct a proper inquiry into what went wrong. While the MPs praise the evacuation effort of 2021, they also say those plans should have been better prepared.
The BBC's Jonathan Beale. Russia unleashed strategic bombers, killer drones, and rockets in a barrage of attacks on Ukrainian targets early this morning as Moscow's latest military push gains momentum. News and analysis, townhall.com. Second Amendment rights are at the heart of a legal action initiated by the top law enforcement officer in Texas.
Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton filed the lawsuit against the Biden administration over a new ATF rule regarding pistol stabilizing braces. The ATF rule claims that if the braces are used, the firearms classification is changed to that of a short-barreled rifle, which must be registered. Paxton says the requirement is an infringement on Second Amendment rights, and the ATF is acting outside their authority. Tasha Stevens reporting.
The run-up to New Orleans' annual Mardi Gras season intensifies today. Major nighttime parades down historic St. Charles Avenue, among other events. Tonight, 3 parades with marching brass bands and floats will step off in the uptown area. Other Friday night parades scheduled in neighboring Metairie, and there will be more than 24 celebrations almost nightly until Mardi Gras. Townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The tablet said, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 8 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 2.
They call it the Deuce.
Mornings with Mike Winters, right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. They're still showing that balloon. I just looked up and I was like, got another balloon? And no, it's the same one they talking about.
Yeah.
Happy Friday. Welcome to it.
Yeah.
We made it. You're here. Pre-Super Bowl weekend.
That's right. Booper Soul 67 this weekend.
Whatever he just said. What did you say?
It's Booper Soul 67. You just take the letters and switch them around.
Okay.
It's broadcast radio's way to say Super Bowl without saying Super Bowl, because we're not technically allowed to say Super Bowl as it's a copyrighted thing. Like if we're doing a promo or whatever, you have to say the big game,
right,
or something along those lines.
But if we're asking you if you're going to watch the Super Bowl, we can say that.
Yeah, you can do that. But it's also the only way I've been able to remember what number we're on, because it's 67 just stuck in my head, and so I know it's 57, and that it's in Glendale, Arizona.
Yeah, I believe. Home of the Cardinals.
Yes, indeed.
It's a nice stadium. I've actually saw a game in that stadium.
Oh, really?
They're a retractable dome.
Oh, the dome. Okay.
So they actually have actual natural grass in that stadium.
Oh, really?
And what they do, it's kind of a neat little engineering feat. The field is on a tray. And they actually take the tray and slide it out into the parking lot to get it sun and water, and then slide it back into the stadium. It's a pretty cool little engineering feat they've got there at that stadium. Yeah, it's a pretty cool stadium. I like that. It's not as big as AT&T and 100,000, but it's as far as niceness and it's just nice, and it's pretty cool. I got a chance to see the Cardinals and the Rams play a regular season game. I don't know. It was back when the NMMI went to Scottsdale, Arizona for the bowl game.
Okay.
And Gene and I all went, and then on our way back, we said, "Hey, let's go." We got a chance to go see a game. Cool. We did the bowl game Saturday, went and saw Cardinals game Sunday, and then came home Monday morning. And it's a nice stadium. It's really cool. But yeah, they got this tray they slide in and out, so. I'm sure it'll be madness there, or is madness there with the Super Bowl week and all that.
Oh, yeah. That'll be fun.
Yeah, but happy Friday.
Yes, sir.
Get ready for your Super Bowling. We'll have the Sheriff's Department here to remind you, enjoy your Super Bowl, but
do so responsibly.
Don't take it out in the streets.
That's right.
Be sober.
Speaking of doing things responsibly, have you heard about the new TikTok trend sweeping the nation?
Apparently I have not.
It's called a Borg.
Like Borg from Star Trek Borg?
No. It's a initialism or an acronym. It stands for Blackout Rage Gallon.
Yeah, that sounds like a bad idea.
So apparently what they do is you take half a gallon of water, like a gallon jug, fill it up halfway with water, and then however much vodka you want to put into it. And then you put Mio, or like the water flavor in there to cover up the massive flavor. And other people put like Pedialyte or like, that liquid IV stuff in it. And yeah, they're calling it a Blackout Rage Gallon. You can name it whatever you want. People are naming it like Ernest Borgnine or, King Borg. That's the whole point, though, is give it a little name, and then you're going out and you're partying with your Borg.
Okay.
So if you're gonna party with your Borg this weekend, please do so responsibly.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure only 17-year-olds are doing that. I feel like real adults don't do that. They just get their garden variety drinking.
Yeah. Kids are all excited because they figured out how to make jungle juice. It's like we've had that for years.
Right. You're just
kids.
doing the 2023 version. But pretty much.
It is fun to say Blackout Rage Gallon, though, because that's it elicits all sorts of different.
All I think of is Q and
thoughts.
Star Trek every time you keep talking about it. I'm just like, Earl Grey hot, articulated computer. Give me some Borg juice.
You can call yours the assimilator.
That's right. Oh man. I won't be doing that.
No.
So I'm sorry, I missed that TikTok rage here. I do want to thank McDonald's because they do this each and every single Friday. They sponsor this show, provide us delicious breakfast treats. We got our bevy of breakfast sandwiches for today. Got my Coke Zero. All is good in my world.
That's right.
So big thank you to McDonald's. Make everything good in your world. Take a trip to McDonald's today. Use the app, and you can use that to sit down and dine in. You can use it to quick hop through the drive-through, or make a delivery.
Have it delivered.
You want to have it brought to your home or business or wherever you're at.
What a world we live in.
That's
you
right.
could be in your boxer shorts and enjoy and have somebody bring you McDonald's.
That's right.
That's amazing.
What a country.
What a country.
Absolutely.
Great time to be alive.
But absolutely. But big thank you to McDonald's, and we do appreciate their support each and every Friday. Let me give you the rundown for this hour of the show. We'll get you up to date with the weather here in just a bit, and then shortly thereafter, commercial and all that. We're going to have Undersheriff, Travis County Undersheriff Charles Eastlis join us, and also Lieutenant Charles Drake as well, and we're going to talk little Chaves County Sheriff's Office business and all that good stuff. I believe the sheriff is off tending to family matters this morning. It is Parent-Teacher Conference Day.
It is.
So the RSD's closed, and so he's conferencing, I believe, with his kids, grandkids, and all that. So hence why it'll be Charles. He said, Charles, I don't know if Charles got kids or anything. He's like, your kids.
Yeah. Who cares about your kids? You go do radio. I'm way too important a man. You go do radio. That's messed up, man. That's messed up. Let I talk to you like that?
Charles is like my age, so his kids are a little older, I'm guessing, if he's got any.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, when you're, around 50.
He's an empty nester?
Yeah, unless your life had plans you didn't plan. You usually don't have little kids around that age. Unless you're my father, but that's another story. And, of course, he waited till he was in his 60s before he did it, but... Yeah, Jerry Springer's show. My life's a little like that. I got a hint.
You dipped a toe into it.
I'm Jerry Springer adjacent.
Just a waft of it.
That's right. I got a hint. Yes. Let's see. It is 13 minutes after 8 o'clock. Let's go ahead and get you up to date on the weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Pretty good looking weekend coming up. Temperatures will be warming up tomorrow and especially on Sunday with high pressure over our area. Upper 40s and sunshine today. Will be clear for the overnight hours, our low near 20. And then we're in the upper 50s and sunny on Saturday, a little bit breezy. Some clouds on Saturday night, a mix of sun and clouds, and we're in the upper 60s on Sunday. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 25 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 75%. Winds currently out of the north at 3 miles per hour. Cool today, but at least not windy. Sunny, 48 for a high. Winds will be out of the north at around 5 miles per hour. Tonight, mostly clear. Expect an overnight low of 19, so another chilly overnight. South winds at around 5 miles per hour. For the weekend, warmer. Sunny, high of 58 to near 60 on Saturday. Winds will be out of the west at around 5 to 10 in the morning, 10 to 15 out of the south for the afternoon. Saturday night, mostly clear, overnight low of 30, south winds 5 to 10. For Super Bowl Sunday, partly cloudy, warm, 68, so kind of near 70 on Sunday. Winds will be out of the southeast, 5 to 10 miles per hour. We do have rain chances Sunday and Monday. They have backed off. They were talking like 40-50% chance during that time earlier this week. Now they're down to about 20-30, but 20% chance of rain Sunday night, mostly cloudy, 37. Monday we're looking at a 30% chance of showers, highs right around 60, and a 30% for Monday night as well. So we'll see how that shapes up. All right, it is 15 minutes after 8 o'clock. We're going to take a 3-minute commercial break, and then we'll talk with the Charleses. That's the Charleses back. We'll be back with the Charleses from the Chaves County Sheriff's Department. Don't go away.
Edge Safety and Services LLC in Artesia, New Mexico has an immediate opening for a safety technician. Position requires a clean driving record and must be able to pass a drug and alcohol screen. Edge Safety offers great pay with IRA benefits and employer contribution towards health benefits. Please email resumes to edgecoding@yahoo.com or apply in person at 402 West Main Street inside the Edge Safety and Services facility. Edge Safety and Services LLC is an equal opportunity employer.
You may know the Bible story of Jesus walking on the water. When Jesus called him out, Peter got out of the boat and walked on the water. But he took his eyes off Jesus, looked at the storm, became afraid, and began to sink. Jesus rescued him, as he often does for all of us, and said to Peter, "You of little faith, why did you doubt?" Peter had great faith when keeping his eyes fixed on Jesus, but lost it when he looked at the storm. How often does that happen to us? Who was stronger, Jesus or the storm? Well, of course it was Jesus. Then why do we let the storms of this life distract us from our faith in Christ? Later in the life of Jesus, the disciples once again failed in their faith, and Jesus told them, "Truly I tell you, if you have faith as small as a mustard seed, you can say to this mountain, 'Move from here to there,' and it will move. Nothing will be impossible for you." If our faith is focused on the right thing, on Jesus, there's nothing that should distract us. Let's be mountain movers with our faith.
Join us at the Country Club Road Church of Christ for worship at 10 a.m. on Sunday.
located on the corner of Country Club and Washington in Roswell.
If you need a Kubota that works and plays hard, stop looking. You'll find everything you need at Amigo Machinery. When it comes to tough Kubota tractors, mowers, construction equipment, and utility vehicles, all with low-rate financing, Amigo Machinery is your one-stop shop. We are passionately committed to providing our customers with the highest quality products, most innovative solutions, and services delivered with integrity and professionalism. Stop by Amigo Machinery in Roswell or see us online at amigo-machinery.com.
Jennifer here from Trustmark Roofing, and I know you've heard me say that you can trust Trustmark, but I want you to know what that looks like in real life. A few years ago, we installed a beautiful new roof for an older woman who was recently widowed. She was an artist and colors were really important to her. So when she said she didn't like the color of a brand new roof, we took that seriously. She had picked the color and signed off on it, but I just kept thinking, if she's going to walk into her house every day and be disappointed, then we're just going to redo it. So we did. We ripped that beautiful new roof off and replaced it with a slightly different color, and she was thrilled. Yes, it cost us quite a bit of money to make her happy, but I want you to know you can trust Trustmark to make it exactly right every time. If you have any roofing needs, call us at 575-755-ROOF or find us online at trustmarkroofpros.com.
Trustmark Roofing, we put people first.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. The U.S. Treasury once considered producing donut-shaped coins. They instead decided to go with coin-shaped donuts. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 18 minutes after 8 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning from the Chavez County Sheriff's Department. Of course, we have Under Sheriff Charles Eastlist and Lieutenant Charles Drake as well. Good morning, gentlemen. How's life treating everybody?
Good. It's Friday. We've made it through the week. Another week down.
Yeah.
It's amazing that we're halfway through February, or almost halfway through February.
Yeah.
And
when y'all started with a busy,
My
you
God.
always start with busy weeks, but I know, of course, it was in the news and all that. They had a little bit of a dust up Monday over at the detention center. I guess they had a group of people that I don't know. I guess they didn't want to follow the rules for a little bit, and so
they thought they had all the answers.
So outside agencies had to come and assist with the detention there to get everything tamped back down, and I think you guys and the state police were there to basically get that back under control, which is exactly what happened. So
yeah, it was actually us and the Roswell Police Department K-9 unit.
Oh, okay. I thought I saw some state police cars out there on the pictures. And
they were
stuff,
waiting
too.
to take their prisoners in, I guess.
Okay.
Or we had locked down the facility.
After you guys handle business, you and the RPD.
Well,
I will take it.
By state statute and by state law, the sheriff and the sheriff's department is responsible for the detention center.
Sure.
So anytime there's an uproar, or just like
It's
like
just
the
not
prisons,
their jurisdiction.
right? Just like the prisons, the state police are responsible for the prisons.
Gotcha.
And then, of course, if it's a federal prison, you have the FBI and things like that.
Sure.
So, long story short, it started about 9 o'clock in the morning, and apparently they put everybody in a open space population
Rec yard.
in the rec yard on the north end.
Okay.
So they could do a search. They were looking for contraband. They found the contraband that they were looking for. When they went to move them back, they opened the doors, and 4 or 5 of them tried to rush them. So they shut the door, and they didn't have a full staff to be able to deal with that. So they talked to them and fed them through there, left them in there. They weren't, at that time they were just mouthing off.
They just isolated them to keep them from basically getting involved with the rest of the population.
Sure, trying to talk to them.
Sure.
Several hours went by, and it started to escalate inside the pod. They destroyed one of the cameras. They tried to destroy the other one. They started tearing up anything that they had.
Jamming the door.
Yeah, sure. Jamming the doors and things like that. So at about 2 o'clock, I get a call from Justin, the Justin Porter.
Mm-hmm.
He's a jail administrator, and he said, "You're not gonna believe this." And I said, "At this point, I'll believe anything." And he said, "I have 25, 28, something like that, inmates that are in this rec yard. We put them in there for this reason, but now they're refusing to come out." And I said, "Okay." I said, he said, we don't have the ability to get them out. So that's what I'm calling you all for. I said, okay. So I spoke to And this is, by the way, this is Lieutenant Drake.
Yes.
He oversees the patrol division of the sheriff's office.
Okay. So you're the guy that
recently promoted.
So are you the officer that all the other deputies have to butter up to get the good shifts?
It's the sergeants that
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, they all have to look up to him. So.
Right. Oh, literally. He is like 8 feet tall.
Right.
Yep, that is true.
That's it. So I talked to him. We called in the night shift.
Uh-huh.
I told Justin, I said, they've got 1 hour. So at about 3:00, called him back and I said, any progress? He said, no. So notified the sheriff and he met us out there and we all met out there, did a quick briefing, stacked up in the hallway, and Justin Porter and the sheriff talked to him one more time. We could hear them in the pod just running amok. They had taken their shirts and wrapped them around their face for the gas.
Sure.
And OC and things like that. They'd wrapped them around their arms for fighting. And
they were ready for war.
They were good old fashioned brawl is what I called it. And so they declined to give up peacefully. So at that point, we had our helmets and all of our stuff, and he and I were in the front. We had two shield guys in front of us, and we had beanbag shotguns. And whenever we got to the door, they still didn't want to comply. We introduced CS gas, which is if you've never had to deal with
tear
it.
gas.
It's
designed to kind of make you choke up, blind you, and incapacitate you without doing any permanent damage.
Exactly. It burns your nose. It burns your esophagus.
Basically the same stuff if you're in basic training and they put you in the gas chamber out. Same stuff. Yeah.
It's the exact same stuff.
Yeah.
And so obviously some of those guys and some of the deputies had never been exposed to that, so that was quite.
So a few deputies got gas too.
They did, yeah.
It was an equal opportunity
everybody,
gassing.
Yeah, everybody got gas out there. So long story short, we deploy a couple of stun grenades and get about a third of them to half of them to lay down. The other ones wanted to fight, so he rips the door. They unlock it and he rips the door open. They had stuffed a bunch of stuff in there, and as soon as we came in, told him anybody standing up is going to get shot with the beanbag. And you only have to. It's not how many. It's just everybody watching one.
Sure.
And once that one decides to be the example, everybody else.
Like, you know what? I'm going to decide to lay down now.
It was like
a
a third of them. They heard the canines barking because we had our canine and RPD's canines out there. So a third of them went down when they heard the dogs barking.
Sure. Well, people don't realize that those dogs command respect.
Yeah, then the gas got the other third down, and then the shotguns got the other third down.
So, good deal. So, and ultimately, no one was hurt major. I mean, I think a couple people had to get their eyes flushed and everything.
Yeah.
But as far as hurt, nobody was hurt or nothing like that. And at the end of the day, everyone got to go home that night, including the people, their home, the jail cell. But they got to go home that night, too. So, that's a good thing.
That's the main thing, and that's what a lot of people, not a lot of people, but some people, they think that this is what we look forward to, and these are the things. The realization is this isn't something we want to do.
Sure.
It's a liability on them. It's a liability on us, and realistically, we're a life-saving organization, not a life-taking organization, and we would much rather talk somebody, and those of us that are getting older, and take a little longer to recover, would much rather talk people out of something.
Let's face it, it's like anything else. And this is why the sheriff's department and every other organization has leadership. You know what I mean? Yes. When you guys were young and dumb, when you first start the academy, you're ready to go through the brick wall because that's what young men do when we're young and dumb. That's just how we're wired. Sorry, that's what happens.
We've all done it.
Yeah. But as we get a little older, a little wiser, and then you get into the Danny Glover, I'm too old for this crap mindset.
Exactly.
Yeah. Then you start working smarter, not harder. And it's like, all right, let's negotiate. All right, I can do it if I have to, but man, I don't want to because there's so many other different ways for this to go down. So, and that's where, when you got those brand new deputies, and I'll run through that wall, Sheriff. I got it.
Step aside.
All right, thank you, appreciate it. But let's try our way first, and then we'll get to that.
We kind of equate that to if you've ever seen The Replacements. Danny, when he says, "Get me the ball," he goes, "I'll get you the ball." Get me the ball.
Give me the ball.
I'll get you the ball. I got you you the ball, and you got to calm him down. That's kind of how the younger deputies and officers are.
Absolutely.
And we all went through it. But
that's
now,
the way it should be, because we want that youth and energy and passion in your law enforcement. You just gotta, and that's where you guys come in, and how to harness it, how to use that for good.
If somebody takes off running, it's good to have those younger deputies.
Exactly. You're like, better him than me.
Yeah, we're like,
I ate one too many pizzas on my lunch shifts, man.
It's funny because this is my 25th year, and we out there we even had that. We had the young guys that were ready to rock and roll, and he and I are at the front, and not because we want to be at the front. It's just I'm taking a beanbag shotgun.
Sure.
These younger guys are going to be wrestling. I'm done with that.
Sure.
If I can
You've
avoid
earned
it.
your stripes literally here to say I don't have to do that anymore.
But you have those, and it's funny to watch them whenever you say, "Hold on." Give it just a minute and then go in. No, I got it under sheriff. I got it. And they run down there and they hit the CS, and then we even had OC spray in there.
Yeah.
And they turn around and start coughing and run back, and you kind of like, see, that's called a learning experience.
That reminds me, there's a famous online video gaming clip that's like all over the internet, and it's even been like spoofed on sitcoms and everything else. Like, you may have seen it, you may not, but it reminds me of that clip, where they're playing like some kind of Dungeons and Dragons game, and there are all these orgs and things.
Yeah.
And there's this one guy, he goes, "Let's do this, Roscoe Jenkins." He goes, and everyone else is just like, "Oh, come on, dude!" And then he just
Leroy
gets smoked.
Jenkins.
Leroy Jenkins. Leroy Jenkins, and he gets smoked.
And every department has one or two Leroy Jenkins. And we're sitting here saying, "Okay, this is what we're going to do." Where's Leroy? He's already running up, knocking on the door. Oh my Lord! And so you always have those Leroy Jenkins that just run in there, and all of a sudden, and then if you remember that clip, or if anybody has seen that clip, we're those guys around going like, "Oh, great, thanks a lot, Leroy. Thanks a lot." Now we're all dying here. Thanks a lot, on the video game.
Yeah, when you told that story, I was like, I just think right of that scene of that video game clip, and I was like, that pretty much sums up what happens.
Nowadays they call it squirrel.
That's right.
So it turned out to be a interesting start of the week.
Sure, exactly.
We ended the year busy, and we started the year busy, but we're towards the middle part of the week, and it's kind of slowed down, and we're hoping. Super Bowl Sunday's coming up. We're concerned about the alcohol. And
it's going to be have a fun Sunday, but
the fighting.
Sheriff's deputies, RPD, state police, they're all going to be out and about.
Absolutely.
Keeping an eye on that kind of thing.
Absolutely.
So. One thing we've also, I'm just kind of get you, I've noticed seems like a lot of rollover crashes out in the county in the last couple of weeks. Is it just all weather related stuff, or are we seeing like alcohol and drug related on these, or is it just a bad luck of accidents?
A combination of both.
Okay.
A combination of both.
Yeah.
We've had a couple that were alcohol related, and then a couple that were just driver inattention to weather.
Gotcha. Okay. It just seemed like, man, we're seeing a lot of these, and is it just a coincidence, or are we seeing some trends on your ends? But it sounds like it was a little cocktail of some bad weather, some people made some dumb decisions.
Day and a half.
Yeah.
It was just one behind the other, and we had
two at the same time.
Two at the same time.
Yeah.
One here outside of Roswell, and then the other one down off of State Road 2 and
Vista Largo.
Okay. And that and then for folks that don't realize too, that the Chaves County Sheriff's Department, yes, they serve every inch of Chaves County, but sometimes those inches go beyond Chaves County. We live in he had noticed, a rural part of the country. So, and believe it or not, there's more rural counties around us than Chaves County, and so, like, if there's stuff going on in, like, Roosevelt County or something, sometimes the Chaves County Sheriff is the quickest first responder to be on scene. So you guys, even though you serve Chaves County, you almost serve all of southeast New Mexico. I mean, they're not calling you way out to other side of Hobbs or nothing, but certainly, if you're going halfway to Vaughn sometimes to deal with an accident or an issue or something. So you guys cover a lot of ground that people may not realize sometimes.
Exactly, and the way the state statute and the law is set up is it states any sheriff shall give the same power and respect or authority to any other sheriff as if they're in their county.
Gotcha.
So we work real well with the surrounding counties. We work real well with all counties, but the surrounding counties is real important because we have limited amount of resources. They have
As
limited,
they do too.
They have limited amount of resources, and so we try and come together on those. There's times when Otero County has helped us out down in the Boot Hill area, and there's times and they'll take care of it
because they could probably get to that quicker than you guys
than we
sometimes.
can. Exactly. And there's times whenever we've had to go down and do the same thing with either Otero or Eddy County or Lee County and things like that. And we border. People don't realize we border several counties.
We do.
And so. Whether it's we've done Lincoln County as well until they can get there.
Yeah.
So it's really good to work with all the other counties, and it's important to have that good working relationship. And we all have the same goal. It's not about whose uniform is on the front page. It's not about who rescues the day. It's all about all of us going home.
Sure.
All of us making sure everybody's safe and making sure that we can hopefully end whatever the problem is without any other issues.
Absolutely. And that's and this is something I think Southeast New Mexico is pretty good at getting for the most. I mean, there's always people.
We're
that
still
don't.
Western.
But I mean,
things do get Western every now and then.
but for the most part, we don't have, thank God, the issues that you see on the TV all the time with the differences between the public and law enforcement. And I know that's due to leadership. The police chief, the sheriff, these folks do an amazing job of trying to talk and be that liaison and making sure the community is fully on board with or seeing what the sheriff's department is doing, what the RPD is doing, and those things. So that has a lot to do with that. But yeah, I mean,
community policing.
Yeah,
be approachable.
Yeah, and I know, and the sheriff is every time he comes on the radio here, he talks about that. He goes, I want my deputies to be, sitting on the street corners talking to folks, and when they come to at lunch to pop in, come on and visit. Yeah, come on and visit and talk to us. And if you want to be where any human being can feel easily walking up to a sheriff's deputy, whether it's just to report something bad or just saying, hey, cool car.
Yeah, let me check out the lights. And then that's absolutely correct.
Yeah.
We all, what people don't realize is this is a small community, and we all shop at the same stores. We all run into each other at the same stores, and so it's important to remember that we all have the same. We all are human.
Sure.
And just because you have bars, stripes, stars, whatever the case may be, it doesn't put you above anybody.
Sure.
One thing that and nothing against politicians, but I don't believe in the politics.
Sure.
And I believe in people. And I get that from the sheriff and Andy Griffith.
Sure.
He was my role model growing up.
I get what you're saying.
It's much easier, like I said earlier, especially at our age now, to talk yourself out of having to fight than to have to fight.
And I'm sure both of you guys, you've learned that lesson the hard way, I imagine. Your early policing days, and you're young and dumb like we all are.
Stuff,
yeah.
But you recover quicker then also.
And you realize
you don't have as much.
Sure. And at the end of the day, you get a better result.
Absolutely.
You get a better result. And don't get me wrong, and I'll let you, maybe LT, you could explain this. You guys build those relationships with the public. So that person that you talked to and maybe had around them because they had a little too much to drink over here, you treat them decent, everything goes well. You see him a month later, and that guy's helping you solve a case because he saw and witnessed something, and because you treated each other with some humanity here.
That's right.
Guy's going to be on your side the next time something goes down in those streets. And
absolutely,
and
they
I
remember that.
Helps you.
They remember that.
Yeah,
I had it this weekend. I ran into a guy, and he was yelling and screaming. I got out. He recognized me. That automatically brought the intensity level of that situation.
He's like, all right, I'm going to be all right. That guy, he ain't going to screw me or steer me wrong.
Exactly.
Yeah. And
he's
that's
a big guy.
Well, yeah. but then again,
that
it's
all
could be
about respect.
That could be to your disadvantage, I'm guessing, on calls too, because automatically you're going to say, oh, this tree's going to knock me silly here, because he's towering over me. Like you have to be almost uber nice because of your size, you already have I mean? Does that make sense?
Yes.
Sure, it's an advantage when it does go south, but till it goes south, sometimes it's probably a disadvantage for you until you get to emote and talk and get them calmed down a little bit.
Absolutely, and being as big as I am, sometimes that does work to my disadvantage because if I show up on a scene that's very hostile and alcohol's related, they think, oh, okay, we're gonna take out
You're
the big guy
the biggest
first.
dude. Yeah, he's first one. Yeah. You've got a big target on your back because it's no different in prison or anywhere else. It's like you're in a rep, you go after the biggest dude on the block.
Yeah.
That's just the rules, and that carries into the street and in prison. So that mindset's there. So yeah, you're right, but don't get me wrong. I'm sure you're like I like being big, and it does come in handy when I need it.
99% of the time, it helps. Yes,
only 2 times in the last 2 years that I've had to visit the hospital, he put me there. Literally, he threw me into traffic one time because I was holding the other guy's arm, and he threw us both into traffic.
Gotcha. So a little friendly fire there.
Yeah, and
just
then ran me
trying
over
to...
on the other one. So,
Yeah.
But one thing that is important for everyone to remember is, regardless of your size, regardless of your strength, regardless of your speed, everybody is equal in that they all have a voice.
Sure.
And it all comes down to being able to talk to people.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't realize, but what's important to remember is 90% of talking is listening.
Mm-hmm.
You should be listening 90% of the time, talking 10% of the time. And we've seen some of those officers or deputies or whoever it may be, they ask a question and then they will answer it for them. Tell me what happened. Because I already know this is blah, blah, blah. Let them talk. Let them, regardless of whether it's BS or not, let them talk. Give them that opportunity. Well, it's the same thing with any call you get.
Sure.
And
it makes sense.
To us, it may be a small issue.
Sure.
But to them, it was big enough for them to call us.
Sure.
And it means a lot to them. So treat that, we've conveyed to the deputies, treat that call, give it your 100%.
Yeah.
And I've had instances where I'm talking to somebody and my phone rings and like earlier, I just click it off.
Right.
And they say, do you need to get that? No. You have my invited attention.
I'm with
talking
you
to
right
you
now.
right now.
Yeah.
Exactly. And so that's the most important
And
thing.
absolutely, because even if they're wrong, and it's no different than like you or I, if we get mad or something, sometimes just talking about it and getting it out. And then as soon as you're done, you're already de-escalated 3 levels. Like, all right, now I said it. I got it out. I feel a little better. So sometimes you just let them vent for a minute.
Exactly.
You can avoid the tussle and hustle because now they're calmed down. It's like, oh, I get you, dude, but you can't do what you did. You got to see that, right? And once you talk to them on that level, then you're like, all right, let's, and that's where it changes. And I imagine that's where you guys learn. Again, this is where that experience comes in.
Sure.
Well, in our mouth and the way we talk to people, it determines the outcome of all situations.
Well, and it's no different in everything in humanity.
That's
I mean,
right.
look at protests and things.
That's right.
If they're coming up wild-eyed and wild-haired and they're screaming, I don't care if they're on your side. You're like, whoa, that's
the reaction
weird.
is always equal to the action.
Yeah.
And that's what people don't.
But if those people came at you, even if you devoutly disagree with what they said, but they came at you like, hey, dude,
Exactly.
You're going to at least, all right, this person's on a, I disagree with them, but at least we can converse and talk, and you're going to get a lot more headway doing it that way. So, just, listen to this and take that advice into other aspects of your life too, not just your interactions with law enforcement. But,
absolutely.
And I always tell, and I don't care what everybody says. I know that the live PD thing goes on, and I know they tried to come here and it's going to get shot down. But as a tool to train the community about what law enforcement does, I think there's no better tool.
Absolutely.
It is an amazing, because every time you watch that show, you're seeing it from the officer's perspective. And so, why you guys are cautious at first before you start doing stuff. Now you're seeing why, because at any given moment, you don't know if that guy's going to fly out with the door open and guns blazing or what. And it happens. There is no typical call that can give you an indicator one way or another whether that's going to, there's some you're like, all right, but it could be a person that looks like everything's cool and kosher, and then
but in their
flips the
mind,
script and they go crazy, or you have the warning type where you're like, okay, this guy's got a trail of mess going on here. But there's no real indicators on either one of those going south or north in there. And so that's why until you guys talk and hear something, you guys are like, guard up, guns up,
it's all business.
Yeah, until we got it de-escalated. Everybody's
Right.
calm. We can put the guns. We can start talking like people.
Yeah.
Now that we realize there's no one in serious threat here, but until that happens, you guys are going to be on guard, and that's
We're going to do
to
business
protect them and to you
the whole way.
Exactly. So, and I think if the public understood that,
Well, and
then we could get past some of the things we talk about and
Right.
going on and how
it's-
policing's done.
And it's on both sides, the public and law enforcement. Everyone needs to understand that this job can be done, but it can be done respectfully. It can be done humanely.
Sure.
It can be done without having to disrespect each other and still get the job done.
Sure.
And still enforce the laws and things like that.
And
that's the most important thing.
And let's face it, sure. Officers are human beings too. I mean, yes, sure. 99% of your officers do amazing things, but like we talked about earlier, young guns blazing. You always get one or two that that they get hot-headed, and you have to do something and
to reel them back in.
And if you run across that scenario, comply, do everything. And then if there's some wrongness that happened, then you address it afterwards, and you can talk to a superior and do something. That's the way to go and deal with it. But I guarantee if you follow an officer's commands, you will never get shot or never be in any danger.
Exactly.
I guarantee that part. Now, you can disagree with them and may not like it, but if you comply and then address your disagreement later after you've complied, then things are going to go a whole lot better.
The one thing to remember is the responding deputy or officer, their main focus is safety.
Yeah.
Their focus is scene security and safety. So when they show up, it's all business.
Yeah.
And then they'll start sorting out, we can sort out the players and the victims and the suspects and things like that. But upon arrival, it's scene safety and security for everybody involved, even the suspect. And so, things have to be done a certain way, and things are set into motion that way.
Sure.
But one of the things that I'm extremely proud of is we have all the admin staff, that's myself, the sheriff, all the lieutenants and sergeants, and we've started now with the deputies, have attended an exorbitant amount of CIT training. We went to Albuquerque where we went through a week-long course, and they actually had actors come in, and they would put you through scenarios, and these actors were amazing.
Yeah.
And they were really amazing. You had one that was going to jump off of a bridge, and you had to talk her down. You had another one that was upset at a game and arguing with the person next to him, and it shows you that sometimes it's much easier to approach it from a different angle.
Sure.
Than they're wanting to argue.
Absolutely.
And if you just diffuse it and just deflection.
Yeah.
Good old fashioned deflection.
And we see, we see that kind of thing, and you see, like you said, you see the result. I'm very curious because, like I said, you guys are both veteran law enforcement officers, so you've been around the block, you've seen things, you've been officers. Has that training changed? Like when you guys are going through the academy and what they were teaching you versus the types of things they're teaching deputies, even at the academy today?
Constant.
Is it night day different?
It's constant.
Yeah.
It's just like the laws. The laws are always changing.
Sure.
It's just the same with our training.
That's something, because you always hear that. It's like, we need to change how we train officers. And I'm like, it does happen. It's
Sure, it does.
Sure. How they taught a police officer to be a police officer in 78 is not the same as how they're teaching a police officer in
That's
91, which is way different than how they're teaching a police officer in 2023.
That's right.
Absolutely. So
we have to evolve with the times.
Yeah.
And back then, and a perfect example of that is I have this when I teach active shooter classes or concealed carry or whatever, or officer safety classes even. I show a picture of Andy Griffith, and I tell people, when did this become this? And then I show a fully geared up with the helmet and everything law enforcement officer.
Yeah.
And I tell them it's when this, and I show them a picture of Otis. We all remember Otis that turned himself in, right?
Yeah.
He was the town drunk.
Yeah.
And then I show them a picture of a person with a ski mask on, an AK-47, things like that. And I say, we have to evolve with what the times are.
Sure.
The training has to evolve. The training we had back when we all started is still in our mind. We still have that training. We're just adding to it.
Sure.
So should we come across a situation that necessitates that training, we have it. But if it's a situation that we apply the most recent training to, then we've got that as well.
Absolutely.
And so anybody, I think, in any business, not just law enforcement, that says they've learned everything there is to know about that business, it's time for them to retire.
Yeah.
And it's because you're learning every day.
The day you think you know it all is the day you're going to get your butt handed to you.
Like I told Justin, nothing would surprise me.
Yeah.
You know, it's amazing.
Yeah. Well, and that's it. And I think, to be honest, I think for the most part, not most people around here get that, and they understand. They know what a law enforcement, and hence the reason why
we have a great community.
Yeah, it's like you tell people, "Hey, go buy an officer lunch." Like, yeah, I'm going to do that, and they do it. You know, it's all. That was one thing when I got the opportunity to do a ride along a couple of years ago. That was,
and we welcome people to come out and do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
We
Please,
really
please come down to the sheriff's department.
Come down, visit with me. I have the waivers.
Yeah, it's all citizens. You know, if you're physically able, I recommend you do take a chance, take an opportunity to go say, hey, you'll get a whole different perspective of the town you live in. Because I guarantee there's going to be parts of this town you see that you didn't, that's here? No,
that actually happens.
That's in Chaves County. It's in Roswell. It's right here. Yes, it is. And because, you know, if you don't go there, you don't know. And so, you know, that's an eye-opener. But number two is just to see what a typical officer sees on I mean, I'll never forget this as long as I live. I had the deputy sit with me, and we were driving down one of these alleys here on the south end of town, and there was a homeless man that was kind of just laying up against the fence, like he was kind of leaning up, and you couldn't tell if he's asleep or awake or what. We did so he was just a wellness check. Hey, let's check on this guy. And but what got me was, like, as we're pulling up, and we're still rolling up to the thing, we see the guy up there. The deputy tells me, he goes, stay in the car, but he says, watch, there's two guys over here, and I ain't seen none of this.
Mm-hmm.
I was like,
it's called situational
just watching
awareness.
This dude here, and I'm the do, you know.
Yeah, the good old tunnel vision going, yeah.
And the deputy's like, there's two guys here, there's a dude with a thing here and this, and I'm like, I don't even know what color shirt I'm wearing, you know. And he's And so to me, and that opened my eyes, was like, absolutely, how much stuff do you miss on a given day just going about your thing, and we're deputies because of their training. You know, it's just how their life is, and that's
exactly it. It's their life.
Yeah.
And even when they're off, you can always spot an off-duty officer or deputy because their head should be constantly on a swivel, as we call it.
Yeah.
I have to sit with my back. You know, that's when I'll pull rank and say, hey, switch me seats.
Yeah.
I just get nervous sitting with my back towards everything.
I get it. Yeah.
It's just a lifestyle. It's not a job. It's a lifestyle.
You've seen too many things go down, and you're like, I'm going to do what I can to avoid that in any way, shape, or form.
Absolutely.
And I'm probably being overcautious, but you know what? I'd rather be overcautious and wrong than undercautious and wrong.
Right. And when we're going back a little bit, talking about the training and the updated training, we've seen an influx, and everybody has seen it, an influx in the homeless and people that are coming from places like Albuquerque. Well, our homeless that we have here, they are different. They don't have the same.
It's like a cultural difference.
It is. And what I mean by that is the Albuquerque. They're more aggressive.
Okay.
They're more aggressive. They're used to that big city lifestyle and everything.
Like it's a rougher patch of people up there.
They don't ask; they demand.
Sure,
and
it's they're a little more respectful to each other here, whereas that's a little more cutthroat up there.
Absolutely.
They bring that mindset down here, and they're like, "Dude, you're messing up our apple
you have
cart
to
here."
deal with them a little differently than you deal with the other. And one thing I want to let everybody know is lock your doors when you're in your car. The other day we had one walk up to a vehicle that was at a stoplight and just open the door.
Wow, that's bold.
And ask for money and basically demanded money. Keep your doors locked. A lot of vehicles lock automatically when you start them, but if they don't, lock them. You pay attention when you pull up to
I got one of those vehicles that's old school. I got to.
Exactly. It's funny. The higher you go in rank, the older your vehicle is. You know.
I got a Jeep Wrangler.
I got a 2000 pickup.
Yeah,
that's
an 18,
23
but
years old.
I didn't want any bells and whistles, so I got crank windows. I got that's more
215,000 miles, and I'm still driving it. You know?
Yeah, exactly. So.
But yeah, pay close attention. Put your head on a swivel. It all goes back to situational awareness, and that's for everybody, not just officers, but everybody.
Yeah, it was a good reminder to me, saying, "Hey, get your head out of your butt sometimes, man. Walk around and see what's going on."
We all get the tunnel vision every now and then, but you have to shake your head and
Yeah, but it was a real eye opener.
Cobwebs off.
But I would if you guys are if you are physically able and I would recommend please go down and
Absolutely.
request. You get a real good glimpse of what, and obviously some nights are better than others, and typically your Friday and Saturday nights are going to be more action packed than say
you would think
Tuesday at 2:00
or Tuesday. I was going to say, or
but
Tuesday
then again,
lately.
We
then
named
again,
Tuesday
you spent a day
Terrible
hanging out at the detention center, so
Manic Mondays.
Yeah.
We have nicknames for all of them. Terrible Tuesdays, Wacky Wednesdays, and it's just you never know in this business. You never know what's going to happen, and that's one of the things that I don't just like this business. I love this job. I love what I do. I've never wanted to do anything other than this, and this is my passion. And I live, eat, breathe. Anyone that knows me, I love this.
And that's why you're great at what you do, and why you are what you are, and why
it's important to pass that on to those that are coming up, and they're our future. They're the ones we're going to turn the reins over to, and
you have to be that for the future of law enforcement. Because let's face it, I'm sure you guys have a amazingly hard time trying to get new deputies because of the world we live in.
We do.
It's like, who wants that mess?
Sure.
I'd rather do 20 other things than have to deal with. But it takes a certain breed of person to do it. And that's always been the case in law enforcement. That's why families, law enforcement's one of those careers that it's not uncommon for generations of families to be cops.
That's exactly right.
It takes a certain mindset to be able to do that. Same with firefighters. It takes a certain mindset for an idiot to go run into a burning building and say, I want to do that.
I had an uncle who was a police officer here many years ago. One of my uncles was the chief inspector in El Paso.
Yeah.
And for the police department. So you're absolutely correct. And it's an amazing career.
Sure.
You see things that you'd only dream about.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I tell people, if you're not a people person, don't do a people person job. If you're not a people person, you can become a people person.
Sure.
That those people that have that fear of talking or have that fear of talking in front of groups or things like that. I tell people, if you're talking to 2 people and you trip, 2 people are going to giggle.
Sure.
If you're talking to 1,000 people and you trip, 1,000 people are going to giggle. The moral of the story is pick your feet up.
Yeah.
Know what you're talking about. Don't trip.
Sure.
And so,
and then when you do trip, roll with it.
Absolutely. Be the first one to laugh at yourself.
Yeah.
And that's the most important thing.
Yeah.
We're all human.
That same advice works on radio too. You see, you make a bunch of jokes about yourself. People are like, that guy's all right.
You take the fire away from them.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. But that's the wisdom and leadership and I think that's what's going to save law enforcement is guys like y'all, talking to these new people and say, look, it's this, yes, there's a lot of garbage you deal with, but man, when you have that one moment when you've just made someone's day, that erases all that.
One thank you, you'll remember.
Yeah. When you get that moment where there's a lady that was in a rough situation or a man or anybody, and you were able to give them peace in their world again.
Sure.
Give them a resolution or at least a place where they don't feel like they're in jeopardy anymore.
Exactly.
And there's, or God forbid, when you save a life, because I'm sure there's every law enforcement officer that spends any kind of, like any 20-year law enforcement officer, I don't care where they served, they save somebody's life. It's somebody in that 20 years, somebody choking, somebody, drowning, whatever, stuck in a tree, something, that happened at least once in their career.
Absolutely.
And so that's the kind of stuff that I imagine
follows you
and says, this is why I'm a 20-year law enforcement officer. Yeah. And this is why on the day when I just had somebody yell at me, spit at me, call me this and that. But
the days you question yourself are always erased by the days when someone thanks you.
Sure.
And sometimes it's the smallest interaction. You may not have thought it made an impact or a difference, but all of a sudden you get that thank you note in the mail, or you get that phone call.
Sure.
And
or you see them on the streets again, and they're doing better, and they're like, "Dude, you saved my life. That overdose. Now I'm here talking, but you got me when I was overdosing here on the street corner. And now I'm here to talk, and it's because of you. Thank you." And that does happen.
It does.
It does. You'll see someone.
It's amazing. They go from wanting to fight you at that moment, because you've taken away the high, to later on, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't.
Sure.
And I've talked to some folks that, and they'll tell their kids, "Hey, this is Charles." I tell them, call me Charles. You don't have to call me undersheriff. Call me Charles. I'm a person just like you are.
Sure.
And so I meet their kids, and they'll tell them, he sent me to prison, or we used to play hide and seek all the time, and what I mean by that is he used to chase me all the time, and and
it's
that
better
happens.
Like community policing. It's like, we chew the same dirt. I went to school with that guy.
Yeah.
We used to play baseball together, or we got in trouble in school together. We got whatever.
Exactly. And those are the people that make this job what it is.
Sure.
Those people that come back and say, you know what, I appreciate you doing that. I now have a family because of that. And it wasn't because of us. It was because of them. They made those decisions to stop that lifestyle they were in.
Absolutely.
We enforced the law and made what's basically corrective actions.
Right.
But they ultimately deserve the credit for where they're at.
Sure.
Not us.
You
They
just
made
put them in
decision.
that direction.
We
They're
just
the
knock
ones
them
that,
back into the lanes.
They're the ones that took the steps to correct it.
That's it.
And that's it too. So I just saw the time, but I know we talk with the sheriff here, but always looking for new deputies to be a part and get that stable, and because it's not a job where you just say I want to do it one day and they say great, you're a deputy, go be a deputy. There's it's a process. There's a lot of process and prepping and getting you ready, and the sheriff's department does an amazing job of getting all your deputies ready, so once they are off to the academy, everything's second nature to them, and they're ready.
We have
and
4
fully
in the
prepared.
academy now.
Good deal. So
we still have a couple of positions available if you're interested.
Well, always keep putting applications, because when they're full, they always keep those applications, because it's
we keep a
deputy
pool of
retires, deputy moves
to another agency.
Deputy says this is not my my type of work. I want to go make sandwiches. Okay,
Sure.
well then we need somebody to replace
And I
them.
respect that one.
Absolutely,
Just like
too.
any of the others. So
Absolutely.
once again, if you know of a crime or believe you have information that would be important to us, 624-6500. Make sure you follow the Chaves County Sheriff's Office Facebook page. In the future, we'll be bringing some other lieutenants. Lieutenant Cassidy, she is our DWI an administrative lieutenant. Lieutenant Holy, he handles the recruiting and the training.
Okay.
Some of the training stuff. And Lieutenant Mike Ray, he's our criminal investigation division.
Nice.
But again, this is Lieutenant Charles Drake. He's over patrol, so if you see him out and about, stop and visit with him. And we welcome you to come down. And if I'm not available, you can get a hold of him, and he can sign the waiver as well to do a ride along.
And if all you deputies trying to get a better shift, give him find out what his foods of choice or beverages of choice are, and we'll go from there. So.
give him a hunting tag or a fishing permit.
Oh, that's the key to his heart. Okay, got it.
Absolutely.
Guys, thank you very much. Thank you for doing what you do. Stay safe out there, and God bless you guys and all the other deputies and all of our law enforcement. And,
Absolutely.
We'll see in a couple of weeks here, and care about Super Bowl one way or the other?
Not in the least. I'm as sad as it is. I'm a New York Giants fan.
Okay. Hate the Eagles.
Well, and here's the thing. We usually start in the fifth quarter, and there's only 4, as everyone knows. So unfortunately, we're watching again.
Well, you see who I like. I'm in the same boat you are.
Yeah. But you know what? Good luck to both teams. I hope it goes well with no injuries on either side. And we really want everybody to try and get along, watch your drinking and driving, enjoy your Super Bowl Sunday, but enjoy it to where you can have a safe weekend.
Absolutely. LT, you got a preference?
It's going to be a battle in my house. Got kids that like the Eagles, father-in-law, other family likes the Chiefs.
A house divided.
See?
Yeah.
Well,
then you find out who's really on your side.
Now, is the rest of the people in your house as big as you are?
Some of the kids are getting
some
big.
in there. I was like, all right, we might need some other deputies in case they get to wrestling.
See, I those lessons you learned years ago. I learned never try and jump between two great big guys fighting because you get thrown in traffic. You get run over.
That's the times he's been to the hospital.
That's
it
right.
took him 2 times to learn this lesson, but he
one
learned
threw me in traffic. The other one, his knee. My head tried to hit his knee.
Oh, and lost.
Figure that out. Yeah.
Yep.
But it happens.
He's just a machine.
He has no brakes. Good runner, no brakes.
No brakes. Well, hey, things that once they get going, they don't stop on a dime.
That's just how Drake drop.
It's called momentum. It's just big things. Once they're in motion, they stay in motion. I think there's some science about that.
Absolutely.
Very good. Thank you, guys.
Absolutely.
And,
Thank
we'll
you.
We'll see you here next time.
Absolutely.
See you. All right. It's 9 o'clock. You listen to 990 AM KSVP, Artesia, New Mexico News.
Dozens and dozens of whistleblowers, FBI agents coming to us talking about what's going on, the political nature at the Justice Department. not Jim Jordan saying this, not Republicans, not conservatives, good, brave FBI agents who are willing to come forward and give us the truth.
The special counsel investigating former President Trump after Mr. Trump had questioned the outcome of the 2020 election has sent a subpoena to former Vice President Mike Pence. Emergency crews making a series of dramatic rescues this morning in Turkey, pulling several people from the rubble 4 days after the catastrophic 7.8 magnitude earthquake that killed more than 22,000 people. Watching Wall Street, stocks are mixed. The Dow is up 31 points, while the Nasdaq is down 84. The S&P trading 4 points lower. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Here's an important message from the Diabetes Solution Center. Do you like pricking your fingers to test your blood sugar levels? No one does, but it's important to maintain your health. And now, by wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you don't need to prick your fingers anymore. It's easy to use and helps you make more accurate diabetes treatment decisions. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now. And if you have Medicare or most major insurance coverage, you may be able to get a new CGM at little to no out-of-pocket cost. Shipping is free, and we'll even bill your insurance company for you. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now to learn how to end the painful finger sticks and get your own continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, at little to no out-of-pocket cost.
By not enforcing modern building codes while allowing and in some cases actually encouraging a real estate boom in earthquake-prone areas.
The lax enforcement, which experts have long warned about, is gaining renewed scrutiny in the aftermath of this week's devastating earthquake, which has flattened thousands of buildings and killed more than 20,000 people across Turkey and Syria. David Alexander, a professor of emergency planning at University College London, tells the AP this is a disaster caused by shoddy construction, not by an earthquake. The problem has been largely ignored, experts say, because addressing it would be expensive, unpopular, and arguably restrain a key engine of the country's economic growth. I'm Charles de Ledesma.
As Ukraine pushes for Russian athletes to be barred from next year's Paris Olympics, officials from 30 countries holding a summit today to discuss how to respond. News and analysis, townhall.com. Elon Musk, it seems, has an issue with Ukraine's use of his Starlink service.
Musk's SpaceX doesn't want Ukraine to use its Starlink satellite service to direct combat drones in its war against Russia. So it's limiting Ukraine's ability to use it for offensive purposes. A government advisor said Ukraine uses Starlink to liberate, not attack, and that the satellite service has saved hundreds of thousands of lives. Tasha Stevens reporting.
One high-ranking Russian official says his country will cut oil production by 500,000 barrels per day next month in response to the West capping the price of its crude over the war in Ukraine. In the words of Deputy Prime Minister Alexander Novak, we will not sell oil to those who directly or indirectly adhere to the price ceiling. The group of 7 major democracies has imposed a $60 per barrel price cap on Russian oil shipped to non-Western countries. More on these stories, townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The devil listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 9 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 3.
3 winters.
Yes, good for you,
Boom!
man.
I was like, I felt it. I felt the energy in the room.
Good for you, man.
And then I had to remember, what am I supposed to say?
I was rooting for you.
3 winters. Thanks,
I was
man.
rooting for
Thanks,
you.
man.
I was like, now's the time.
It feels good to get the W before the Super Bowl.
Yes,
You know?
God, good for you. I'm
Thanks,
happy
man.
for you. I was hoping that's what would happen. Sweet. Good for
I
you,
got the heart racing.
Of mornings with Mike Winters, right here on 106.5 Roswell Talk. I've kept that low for years.
I was even like setting my tongue up for the trill.
That's why I do it.
That's why I had to pause for a second. I was like,
And in all fairness, I caught him once, and it was a real jerk move of me because he was having like a bad day and there was a lot going on, and I was like, now's the time.
In fairness, that's somebody who's read The Art of War, you know? That's somebody who's strategized.
I try to be a nice guy, but I have a side where I can be diabolical if I want to.
A t-shirt that says, soon is my homeboy.
But that one I was like happy. I was like, oh, he got it. Good. Good. Now I wanted that. See? Now it's a win.
Yeah.
But happy Friday.
Yes.
Victory Friday, we'll call it now. Hour number 3. If you missed any part of our conversation with the Charleses, Charles is in charge.
Yeah, the Charleses that are in charge.
We had
if y'all don't do a buddy back-to-back t-shirt in the next calendar year, I'm going to be very disappointed.
Or at least recreate like a scene from Step Brothers.
Right?
Like the part where they become friends. Did we just become friends? He's like,
yup.
Yeah, good housekeeping. Did we just become best friends? Yep. Do you want to do karate in the basement? Yep. Yeah, I think that's where we need to go.
There you go, Charleses.
I'm going to show you something. This is a samurai sword. Notice that little black squiggly mark there? Signed by one Randy Jackson. I don't know why that makes me laugh, but Randy Jackson signing a samurai sword is the most funniest, just offshoot thing that makes me laugh.
It's a very obscure pull. It's like in the movie Hot Rod, there's one of my favorite lines in the movie Hot Rod is it's bouncing around the web faster than a beach ball, faster than a beach ball at a Nickelback concert. It's one of those pulls that's like, all right, that was good. That was really good. Signed by one Randy Jackson.
Well, and I'm hoping it's good. I think next week it premieres. There is a Fox TV show that has, and two of the stars are Adam Sandberg and
Andy Samberg and Jorma Tacone?
And no, dude from Community,
Joel McHale.
McHale.
Really?
Yes, and they are working for animal control. And
I did see a commercial about this. Yeah.
No, Adam. Yeah, he's in it. I saw him in the trailer, in the commercial for it.
Let's see.
I can't remember what it's called.
Yeah, I'm trying to find
But I think it premieres next week.
Oh, all the commercials I saw didn't have him
Yeah, he was. I'm pretty sure it was Andy Samberg. I saw on there doing. He was there with Joel McHale in one of the bits I saw. And if I'm not, they pulled a rope-a-dope on me.
There's a Middle Eastern dude.
No, it was Sandberg. Pretty sure I saw it.
I saw something about dog catchers or something.
Yeah, they're animal control. They work for like the one scene they show. There's a snake around Joel McHale's head. There's like a big python. Then there's Sandberg who says something to him about it. Like I didn't sign up for this or something. I can't remember.
It's just called animal control, I guess.
That was called animal control.
Yeah, Andy Samberg's not. He might have been like
maybe it was a cameo. Maybe it just fooled me, and I thought it was Sandberg.
Because I don't see him.
Oh, bummer! I thought that was Sandberg because that kind of knocked it up a cool point.
That definitely would have. He's real busy because they're still doing Brooklyn Nine-Nine, aren't they?
Are they? I
think so.
I thought that show got canceled.
It's gotten canceled a couple of times, but I think they've renewed it on Hulu or something.
Yeah, but I kind of
I'm still curious though.
I thought I saw Sandberg in there. Maybe I'm wrong. In all fairness, I caught it on a glimpse there real quick. I was not really paying attention. It was like I was doing something on the computer or something, and it came on the TV, and I would kind of half paid attention. I thought it was Sandberg, but maybe I was wrong. Bummer. That makes me sad now because I was like,
I know.
Mikhail and Sandberg, that'd be a great show. It still might be a great show. It's either going to be really amazing or really stupid. I'm not sure which.
That does look a lot like Andy Samberg.
Okay, so I'm not crazy.
This dude in this picture, no, look. That dude right there.
Yes. Yeah. I thought that was Sandberg.
Oh. He looks a lot like Andy Samberg.
And so I just caught it on a glimpse. Yeah, I think so. Okay, so I'm not completely crazy. Yeah, you got it. Yeah, that guy does look like Sandberg.
I mean, he definitely favors.
Yeah,
for sure.
Huh. Okay. Well, Sandberg. Now, I want to see a movie with Fat Will, with Matt Damon, and fake Andy Samberg.
Fat Damon
and fake Samberg.
Which is funny, is because Fat Damon used to be Meth Damon because he was the guy from Breaking Bad.
Oh yeah, originally.
Yeah, originally.
Well, he put on some.
He definitely
he's in season 2 of Fargo, and he's definitely a bigger man. In
what was funny, I know we've had this conversation before. What was funny was when El Camino came out, the Jesse Pinkman movie. Spoiler alert. Todd shows back up. But he's Fat Todd at this point. But it's supposed to be like a flashback to this weekend that they had when they worked together.
It's kind of hard to sell a meth guy that looks like...
Right. Well, he wasn't, he obviously wasn't enjoying the supply. But, he was just doing it in sandwiches. But no, it's basically supposed to be like this time that happened. And so both before and after, he's just normal Meth Damon. But in this little time before, like in the middle, it looks like he just had like 16 Bananas Fosters and then showed up to hang out with Jesse for a weekend.
Maybe just went too many trips to Pollo Loco.
Yeah. You know what I miss?
Pollo Loco?
No, Pollo Loco. There used to be a Mexican buffet restaurant. It was a chain. There were several of them. We had them in Oklahoma. We had the ones I remember in Albuquerque. There was like 3 of them. Was Poncho's Mexican buffet.
Yeah, you've talked about Poncho's once or twice.
That place was amazing.
Didn't they have a flag or something?
Yep, that's the whole gimmick. Is you'd raise the flag when you wanted some more food, and they would bring you whatever you wanted just right to your table.
That
that's
sounds
buffet
like
without all the trouble.
A gluttonous dream.
Oh, it's perfect. It was perfect.
It's a Mexican food buffet.
It was Mexican food, but here it was pretty Caucasian Mexican food. It was very much like, do you remember
Tex-Mex? Not
Not even that. Do you remember the patio TV dinners?
I do.
That kind of that fakey enchilada red sauce.
Well, that's probably why they're not in business anymore.
Probably.
They're putting out frozen
enchilada. I was a white kid from Oklahoma. And I remember their rellenos were really good.
That was authentic cuisine.
Like I'm south of the border.
Now that's Italian.
Yeah, I miss Poncho's.
I would like to try it because it sounds like a glorified ghetto-ness that I think I would dig.
It was amazing because that was the first time I ever experienced a dessert bar.
Ooh.
That was the first time I ever experienced like soft serve ice cream that I had access to. It was like, this is, yeah.
Now you have me.
That's every kid's dream.
I'm telling you, if I ever hit like baller status, that's the one luxury I'd want in my house. A soft serve ice cream machine. That's
ice cream's not that hard to make.
I know, but
a couple of bags, some ice, some salt, and then the ingredients.
Just the concept of me having a machine in my home
I get it.
that I can walk by at any point and go, toot, and get me a little cone, and then move on about my day. That to me just sounds like heaven.
That's you know what? That doesn't sound bad. The upkeep, though. The upkeep was a hassle.
That's why I got to be baller status. Right. I need a guy that's got to service
a guy
this
that's
thing.
Service and clean.
I don't want nothing to do with it other than I walk by it and I get
it's just
chocolate soft serve ice cream coming out. And now I will make, because I am a baller, I would make it the 3-pack. So I would give you the vanilla, the swirly, and chocolate and let you go your way. But chocolate will be filled at all times.
Not that weird orange flavor?
No. I'm not going mango sherbet nonsense. That's out the window.
Yeah.
It's America. We do American flavors. Chocolate and vanilla. America.
I would agree with you.
In all fairness, that used to be a declaration of wealth, having your own soft serve.
Well,
I have my own soft serve. What do you got?
That's an incredible status.
But I really don't want to throw it out there like that. I just want the ability to, what do you want to do? I don't know. And then I walk by and like, huh?
Yeah. Why do anything? We've got ice cream right here.
I wouldn't have to think again, and it's always there. Oh, gosh, that'd be glorious. glorious.
Well, there is. I mean, it is possible. I'll reach out to the Taylor people and see how much this is going to cost.
My wife would never let this go down, but I would fight for this one. I think I might. If there was a legit opportunity and it was real, I think we're going to the mattresses. We're going to fight this one out. Sorry, that's a mob term.
I deserve it.
What was that one flavor called that Golden Corral used to have? That was like a weird orange one.
Oh,
Was it just orange and vanilla?
Yeah. Yeah.
It was like
Dreamsicle or something?
Dreamsicle. At Brahms, they had a flavor called Dream Cooler that was always my favorite, and it was the same thing. Just orange.
Like I like the Disney cruises. Because that's the concept in my head. I want like the cruise ship thing. We just walk by 24/7, ice cream, woo, and go on your day.
Yeah, I'll tell you this. I do not want to go on a cruise. The idea of going on a cruise sounds horrible to me. That is the one selling point that ever made me like, it might be fun.
Oh, it's
just that on the Love Boat.
It's to me, that's vacationing right there.
That's good.
I got a big boat. I see. This is what if I was really, I'd want that big cruise ship, but only have like 20 people on it. Like I don't want the 37 family reunions and all the other mess that gums up the elevators and clogs up the hot tubs. I just want that ice cream thing 24/7. I can walk by.
I mean, that sounds nice.
Yeah.
Like, all the stuff on a cruise sounds nice, but being trapped with 1,000 people I don't know, 47 miles from land, it just, none of that sounds appealing to me. With no options of like, hey, if things go nipples north here, what are we going to do? You know, like, yeah, there's lifeboats and stuff, but I've seen Titanic.
Well, they do the whole thing before you go on the cruise. You got a whole drill you do.
Sure.
Before you get on the boat.
Yeah, but how many?
Because you got to go to a designated area and they get you put your life jacket. There's a whole safety thing you do before you actually start cruising.
Yeah, I don't know. It sounds.
Put it this way.
It sounds cumbersome.
It's like airplanes. You always see these bad things on news of people going, but there's gazillions of these planes. That's like one. It's like a car accident. Cruise ship, same thing. Yeah, you see the guy that are eating onion sandwiches and pooping in bags because they're stuck in the middle of. But there's so many other cruises where none of that's going on.
Right.
It's.
But okay, I know you got an interview you get to. But even best case scenario, it's like, if 2 doors down some dude has the Hershey squirts, chances are it's going to make its way down to you and to the
yes, and they are very
lobster bisque.
They are very because Kim got sick the last time they quarantined her.
Right.
They stuck her, and therefore by default I was quarantined. So the last day of the cruise I spent in the room with her. I could leave because I wasn't sick.
Right.
But I'm a good husband. I stood with her, and then I went down and got her food, and they did deliver because she got free room service now for that. But there was a couple times where room service wasn't available, and she was ready to bowl soup, so I went down and I went. You know what?
Are you okay, honey? I'm just gonna go get some ice cream.
I did pound a cone or two, but I'm walking around this whole boat with a bowl of soup on a boat, by the way. And I went from like 12 decks from up or down to go get to from the room to the thing, but
that's rough.
It is 19 minutes after 9. We probably did get the weather and the break going here. We're gonna play our interview we had with the folks from the Band Boosters, reminding you about their events tomorrow. They've got the Goddard High Band Boosters are doing breakfast from 8 to 10 at Applebee's, and then the Roswell High Band Boosters doing their Noodles and Notes event tomorrow evening at the Roswell High School there in the Commons area. So we're going to play that for you here in a bit. But first, your weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Pretty good looking weekend coming up. Temperatures will be warming up tomorrow and especially on Sunday with high pressure over our area. Upper 40s and sunshine today. Will be clear for the overnight hours, our low near 20. And then we're in the upper 50s and sunny on Saturday, a little bit breezy. Some clouds on Saturday night, a mix of sun and clouds, and we're in the upper 60s on Sunday. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently, sorry, I was working on something else here. Currently, sorry, that's not right either. 31 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 67%. Winds out of the north, 3 miles per hour. 48 and sunny today with north winds at around 5 miles per hour. Clear tonight with an overnight low of 19. South winds 5 miles per hour. Saturday, warmer, 58, so pushing 60 tomorrow under mostly sunny skies. West winds 5 to 10 early. out of the south, 10 to 15 for the afternoon. Tomorrow night, mostly cloudy, overnight low of 30, so much warmer than tonight's overnight low. South winds 5 to 10. Sunday, we're going to be upper 60s, 68, and partly cloudy with southeast winds 5 to 10. And then Sunday night and Monday, we're looking at rain chances, 20% chance of rain Sunday night, mostly cloudy, overnight low of 37, 30% chance of rain on Monday, partly cloudy, is right around 60. All right, quick commercial break, and then we're going to play our interview with the Band Boosters talking about their pancake breakfast and Noodles and Notes event happening tomorrow. Don't go away. That's up next.
Edge Safety and Services LLC in Artesia, New Mexico has an immediate opening for a safety technician. Position requires a clean driving record and must be able to pass a drug and alcohol screen. Edge Safety offers great pay with IRA benefits and employer contribution towards health benefits. Please email resumes to edgecoding@yahoo.com or apply in person at 402 West Main Street inside the Edge Safety and Services facility. Edge Safety and Services LLC is an equal opportunity employer.
Roswell Skin Center, a brand new state-of-the-art facility located in the 400 Penn Plaza building here in Roswell, is now accepting new patients. Dr. Brandon Cometti and his team offer a full range of skin care services, including general dermatology, surgical and cosmetic procedures, including cutting-edge laser rejuvenation, Botox, filler, laser hair removal, chemical peels, and other non-invasive options to improve skin health and turn back the hands of time. Call and schedule your appointment at Roswell Skin Center today, 208-2509. That's 208-2509. Asian Market brings the flavors of the East to Roswell. The market side has lots of new and different items, including sauces and noodles to enhance your Asian dishes, plus new snacks and more. There's always something new and exciting waiting for you. And the restaurant inside Asian Market has all of Nook's favorites from 11 to 5, like wontons, egg drop, rice or noodle soup, crispy calamari, and the best barbecued fried rice in town. All made fresh. Dine in or call ahead for easy pickup.
Hi, this is Nok. Come see me at Asian Market, 5702 South Main in Roswell. Call 575-840-5309.
This is the owner of Trustmark Roofing, and nothing makes us happier than telling our customers no. As in, no pricing games. We give you a guaranteed price and then we stand by it. No surprises, no gotchas. No obscurity. We don't just tell you what's wrong with your roof. We record our inspections and show you. No lemons. We install premium roofing materials from top brands like Owens Corning. No shortcuts. We're in the 2% of roofers with the Owens Corning Preferred Contractor Certificate for our local area. This means we offer precision installation and the longest warranties. Want a beautiful new roof that's built to last? Choose Trustmark Roofing, the roofer that loves to tell our customers no. For an estimate, call us at 575-755-ROOF or find us online at trustmarkroofpros.com.
Trustmark Roofing, we put people first.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Due to extreme pressure and weather conditions, it literally rains diamonds on Neptune and Uranus. Stop snickering because I said Uranus. Here's Mike Winters.
Do you? I mean, it's your birthday, you know. Glom as many free things off people that'll give you stuff as possible on your birthday. That's the goal. Good morning. It is 24 minutes after 7 o'clock. And joining us in the studio this morning, not just our Roswell High, but our Goddard High Band Boosters as well. Of course, we have Ellie and Diane with the Goddard High Band Boosters, and then Chris and Denise back with us from the Roswell High Band Boosters. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Wow.
That was like in
Unison
stereo, right?
and everything.
Oh, we were
See?
band people, right?
Well, you guys have spawned band kids, maybe band members yourselves, so it's in the blood.
Right, exactly.
Unison and in concert. Yeah, that's just in the blood here. So.
Well, thanks for having us on again. We appreciate
Anytime.
getting to come talk band stuff.
Anytime. It's great that, of course, both schools have a great band and a great boosters and really do a great job of just getting out there and having fun at events and things. And of course, all of that is really leading up to the competitions and to the competitive side of band. But really, for us, we get to enjoy all your practices. Really, you get to come and do halftime shows and do various events and things, or go to special events and things different, whether it's with the school or with a car dealership or something. We always see the bands out there, and it's great to see. So, but we are now getting into what I'm guessing a busy season for the band in terms of competitions and things like that coming up here in the spring and late spring semesters of the school year. And we all know that it's not free to move and house and feed.
Feeding teenagers. Oh, my word.
An army of teenage kids. Yeah, it's a lot of moving parts and things. And of course, the school helps with some, but it really is some.
Yeah.
But it really is, this is where the boosters come in. And they come in and say, we're going to support the kids and we're going to help. And now, don't get me wrong. The kids are busting their humps too, doing the work and everything else.
Practicing,
yeah,
yes, for sure. Absolutely.
But the boosters are kind of helping with logistics. Say, hey, we're going to set up some events with like what we're about to tell you about here, and,
yes.
And then the kids come out, work their butt off, and give you delicious foods and things, and then you give them money so they can go do band and you go compete here at the state levels and. Who knows? The world.
Yes.
Yeah, this April, both of the bands actually get to travel to Rio Rancho.
Okay.
And it's basically like the state championship for bands.
Okay.
You actually have to get a 1 in marching competition
Okay.
season.
So you got to qualify to get there.
Which is a superior rating. Woo woo.
Yes, 1 for us non-band folks. When you get a 1, that's the high score.
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's like a strike in bowling,
exactly.
Or yes, it is the best, the highest
Touchdown,
possible.
I don't know.
Yes, home run in baseball.
And then you had to do sweepstakes, which is a 1 in concert band, a 1 in sight reading for concert season.
Okay.
And then the following season, you qualified to go to this.
Okay.
And I think this is the first time that both of our bands have been able to go to this.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So
that's got to be great.
It's really exciting.
And I know with rules, there's a whole lot of them there. But can you all pull resources at all for stuff like this, or do you have to really, in the legalized world of things, really do it on your own just for paperwork and all that? But I didn't know if y'all were. It's like, since both schools are going the same place, can we, work the logistics here together and use them, or is that start getting into weird territory there legally?
Like, for instance, when our kids went to like solo and ensemble, it's not the entire band going, just certain kids are participating. And so we have shared buses with Goddard. Like
so it really depends on the size of the band, how much of the band you need to take. Right. It's like, hey, we can fit all in one bus, pile in.
Exactly.
Normally, if it's the entire band's going, then
it's not enough.
so
There's
big.
no room.
Not enough, I would
Which is a great problem to have.
Roswell High needs 2 buses. Goddard is at a full bus by themselves now. So
that's great.
We use 2 buses.
Oh, you take 2 buses?
Yeah, we do.
Okay.
Excuse you, sir.
So
I was misinformed.
Well, these are, again, like Denise saying, these are good problems to have, because we want to get.
For sure.
We would love to have more kids. We need a 3rd bus for the band, because we have that many kids that love to be a part of the band and continue on. I don't know what the attrition rate is when they start, say, in middle school or elementary school, by the how many stick with it by the time they get to high school. I don't know I imagine that number kind of dwindles as kids, you kind of weed out the kids that find other interests, or life happens and they just get other distractions and things. Right. And they're kids,
Well, in the past couple of years, we've had issues with keeping band directors. The only band director that has been there for an extended period of time is Miss Bain at Brendo.
Okay.
All the other band directors are pretty much new.
Gotcha.
Dr.
Mr. Everett's been there for a while.
Well,
he's
middle
talking middle school.
Oh, middle school.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Gotcha.
Dr. Burrell has been there. I think this is his 2nd or 3rd year.
At Mountain View.
At Mountain View. We have a new one this year at Mesa, because the former Mesa band director actually moved up to assistant principal.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And then since Dr. Gomez moved over to Roswell High, we have a new one at Sierra, and this is his 2nd year. So we have a growth stall, except for at Brendo. Goddard's going to have a bigger band the next few years, because Miss Bain is building that program.
Nice.
Building that program.
Huge 6th grade
Well,
class.
and most people don't realize, that's the farm system for the high schools.
Exactly.
And so to see this kind of activity going on at the middle school level bodes well for when these kids are becoming 9th and 10th, high school age students here. So that's an awesome thing. So so we've got more on the horizon with both bands here, both high school bands, and the future's looking bright here. So So all we need to do is for you to come and eat noodles and pancakes with us.
That's it. What a great segue.
And see, guys, we have you set up for early Valentine's.
Yeah, listen to this, guys.
there you go.
He
Okay.
has
You
a plan.
you contact Goddard, and you get pancakes. You surprise her with pancakes first thing Saturday morning.
There you go.
From 8 to 10.
From 8 to 10 at Applebee's.
Yes, Applebee's got you covered. They're going to be
Yes.
cooking the pancakes. Is it all you can eat? As many?
No, it's pancakes with some eggs and sausage and drink.
So a full breakfast here.
Good company.
Nice.
And this is February 11th.
Yes. That's is that 2 weeks?
Not this Saturday, but next
Saturday.
Right.
Yeah. So it'll be the Saturday before the Valentine's Day weekend.
Exactly. Right.
Hence the getting the lay of the land here. So we start with a breakfast at Applebee's on that Saturday. Again, tickets are only $10 a piece.
Correct.
And again, all of that money goes to support the Goddard High Band and all the activities there.
Half.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, we'll do the fundraising with Applebee's. So
Yes.
we do the half of it.
Oh, I got you. There's a cost for doing business at Applebee's. I got you.
Gotta pay for the pancakes. Right.
As long as Applebee's get their little taste, and then the rest goes to the Goddard.
But they could always bring extra money and give tips.
This is true.
You know what? That's true.
Tip jar
You
out,
can't touch
yes.
your tips. They get to get those. So tip heavy, yeah. And these kids are going to be tired, especially the tuba one. The ones that carries those big instruments all the time. Now they got to carry pancakes.
Ooh, bass drum.
Yeah. But even the piccolo players, they're not. But piccolo players aren't used to carrying heavy things. So maybe tip them generously too. But that's going to be again 2 Saturdays from now on February the 11th from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. at Applebee's. And you're like, Applebee's ain't open at 8 a.m. Exactly. That's why they're opening up for breakfast so they can accommodate.
And
So-
if anybody happens to drive by and sees that they're open and wants a plate of pancakes, and
Exactly.
they're more than welcome.
If you're just learning about it, get a $10 breakfast. And
That's
that's
right.
pretty cheap in this day and age.
For sure.
You seen the price of eggs at the store?
Oh, my word.
Just saying, $10 breakfast is a bargain right now. So definitely come out, be a part, and it's a lot of fun because the kids have a good time, and you come and eat pancakes and eggs and bacon, and hopefully we can get a nice big stack of cash raised for these kids. So come, bring your friends. Let's fill that Applebee's from 8 to 10 with every table. Just, as soon as you go out, there's another table going in to eat another stack of pancakes. The chefs are going to be in the back. They're going to have
Carpal tunnel.
pancake elbow or pancake wrist or whatever.
God.
Tell them in a pinch. I know our legislator, Greg Nybert, is the guy that's in charge of making like Mickey Mouse pancakes at the Kiwanis pancake breakfasts.
Oh.
So if you need a specialty guy, he's a little busy in Santa Fe right now, but maybe we can coax him down to make, it's for Goddard High. Can you make some Mickey Mouse or maybe rocket-shaped pancakes? I don't know. Between his lawyering and his legislating, I don't know how much time his gourmet pancake making is.
But it's for the kids. I mean,
It's for the kids. Exactly. So, if anybody reach out to him, see if he's available on the 11th to make some shaped pancakes and things. But very good. So mark it on your calendars, and we'll remind you ad nauseum between now and that date here. February 11th, Saturday morning, 8 to 10. Can they RSVP, or is it just show up at 8? Or
You can just show up.
Okay, just show up with an appetite and $10, and you're ready to eat here. And then maybe another 10 or 20 to get to tip. Tip your server. Yeah, or 1,000.
Anything.
Yeah, I mean, that would be
take
great
it.
too.
Suitcase full of
Chris
cash.
dreams big. Good
Yeah.
job. Good job.
Perhaps
We'll take anything.
Being the president, you get to see the financials a lot, and you're like, oh wow.
and if you're cash light, bring your Rolexes or your Hope Diamonds, whatever you got. Well, we know a guy we can fence. I mean, get a good value. I'm kidding.
Moving on.
Just kidding. Eat your pancakes.
Right.
But don't completely fill up, or at least you got a few days to digest in between here for
a few hours.
A few hours.
Yeah, we have you packed full on the 11th.
Okay, I was thinking it's a different day, but it is the same.
You can
Sure
go.
enough,
You
it is. All right.
do that. $20. You get your Valentine breakfast, and then for $35, you could come to Roswell High.
There you go.
And you can get a spaghetti dinner and listen to jazz. And we're going to have roses that we're going to sell at
so kind of the romantic, Applebee's is more family fun.
Exactly. Bring the whole family for Applebee's.
Right. But maybe that evening, Roswell High is more of a just the two of us intimate type, You got the band doing the jazz, Maybe anybody can sing like Barry White in the band or anything, or maybe we can get some choir folks over to do some Barry White.
We do. It is interesting because we do have quite a few band kids that are in choir also.
Double dip here.
So, right. We could make that happen.
The ones that have to blow into an instrument might have trouble, but the ones that are beating on things can sing. But yeah, so you're gonna have a lovely spaghetti dinner here. The jazz will be playing to kind of set the mood, and love to have you come. Now this one you can pre-register for, right?
Yes,
okay.
We do need to have a head count for our caterers.
Because guess what? The Roswell High Gym is not a restaurant, and they just don't normally just do food and things out of there, so they have to bring it in.
Well, and it is right. It is going to be in the Commons area.
Okay.
There at Roswell High, and like I said, we do have to let our caterers have a head count. So we're selling tickets through the 5th.
Yeah, through Friday.
Through is it
Friday's
this Friday?
the 3rd.
Oh, Friday. Yeah, through Sunday, I guess.
Right.
Okay.
But anyway, and we have it on Facebook, the Roswell High Band Facebook. They can reach out to either me or Chris.
Okay. But there is the RHS Band Boosters Facebook page that you can log on to or find, and then
we'll get in contact.
Or they could even call Dr. Gomez at the school, and he could pass on our information. So,
absolutely.
If there's any businesses that would like to sponsor a table, you get 8 guests. You get a little thank you poster. It's $175.
For the whole table.
For the whole table.
And that seats 8.
That seats 8.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Very good.
So,
of course, if you can't find a date, it's just $20.
That's right.
But if you have found someone, you can come together as a couple for $35. So, you know what? Y'all need a single section. Y'all need tables for just the $20 to have a single. And then let's see if we can make some magic here.
and then we can try to more.
There you go. It's a love connection.
Yeah, you got the couples celebrating Valentine's Day side, and then you got like the Singles Awareness Day, the other what people used to call Sad Day as Singles Awareness Day, and then those folks can be there together, trying to get over to the other side. You know what I'm saying? Meeting people and mingling and things like that.
Or I mean, if you're not up for the dating game at this dinner, you can just bring a friend and get the couple prize. I'm just saying.
You just sit awkwardly eating spaghetti and don't talk. I'm just kidding.
Mike, you are not helping.
But maybe
I'm just saying, I'm trying to get you to meet people, Maybe recreate Lady and the Tramp, with the whole spaghetti in the middle.
Oh, my word.
At the end of the evening, everyone's having fun. And the Band Boosters have raised a whole bunch of cash.
That's the plan.
And bring extra money, too, because our spaghetti pot is empty.
Okay.
So we will have an area for tips.
Okay.
And you can get your picture taken.
Nice.
So.
Yes, we have a local photographer, Beautiful You Oh, she's gonna kill me.
Creations, I believe. It's my niece. You would think I would know what her name is.
Alicia, we love you.
Uncle screwed up my band and my business name again.
But she does do like professional photography, and so she's going to be set up there to take pictures. Great. She has a backdrop, some little props, and it's, I believe, $5.
$5, yeah.
And she'll take a picture of you, your friends, you and your couple, whatever.
Awesome.
So, to commemorate.
Yeah. Keep a keepsake memento.
Yes.
Absolutely. It is a Valentine's Day themed weekend after all. So,
right. And we will have roses there at the front. Chris and I will be at the front table. And you can buy a rose for your friend/date, with whatever the situation.
Or yourself.
For yourself, whatever.
Right. Treat yourself to a rose.
Yes. So, yeah, guys, bring a little extra cash, make it super special while you eat your spaghetti and enjoy the jazz.
Yes. By the way, eat neatly. If you're trying to impress someone and you're just diving in that spaghetti and you got sauce all over your face and whatnot, tap and dab a little bit. Eat like people are watching it. You know what I'm saying?
Because they probably will be.
Because they are.
It might be a reason you're over in the singles team.
Oh, God.
We're having fun and joking, but we come out and support the kids. That's what we really want to do. Have a good time, and that's what we're talking about. It's just come out Saturday morning. They're on the 11th. Come have breakfast. Bring. It's 8 to 10. It's not like you have to get up early. You can sleep in a little bit too.
Right.
You can be there at 9. You don't have to be there at 8.
Absolutely.
They'll still have good pancakes at 9:30. It'll be fine. So
they'll still be fresh.
That's right. So. Be honest, make them kick you out at 10. Keep eating and keep buying, coming in, and hopefully 10 o'clock, dude, you go, we got to open for lunch, and so keep eating pancakes. But and then save room for that evening, or go exercise and get your laps in or something, and come hungry again for a nice, lovely evening of spaghetti. Make it as romantic or as fun as you want to. It's kind of turn it into your own thing here. If you want to do it as a we never go out. Let's go out and have some fun, and you can make it kind of a quiet, little intimate thing and do your thing. And or if you want to have a group of friends come and make it a celebratory event,
absolutely
have fun with it. The point is, let's help the kids. Let's help them, afford to go to Rio Rancho and be able to actually have that ability to do that and all the other events and things. And by the way, have you seen the equipment and everything a band is outfitted in?
Yes.
That's not free either.
Right.
Absolutely.
And maintenance on the instruments, that
I would imagine,
adds up. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, think about like music class in your elementary school and how many times sticks and things just got broken. And just that little, now take something that gets used every day, all the time, practice, and the wear and tear is pretty rough on it. I imagine. I don't know how, I imagine some of the saxophones and those last forever, but drums and things, really?
Still need maintenance.
Yeah. But I was thinking, I just didn't know the drums and stuff. I was like, the shelf lives on those probably don't last as long, but I'm thinking if you take care of a saxophone or something, that's kind of...
Our son played clarinet.
Okay.
And every summer we would go and get it recorked.
Okay.
To put the pieces together.
Yeah.
And sometimes you have to change out the pads.
Okay.
For all of them require love and care.
But take care of it, they last forever. That's they're not disposable. That's kind of what I was, trying to get at. These are something you have for generations.
Yes,
if
absolutely.
You don't treat them like garbage.
Well, just the everyday stuff, drumsticks, reeds.
Now that stuff,
stuff like reed oil, stuff like that.
And at rock concerts, they throw all those guitar picks out. So I'm just kidding. How many of those you go through?
Right.
So much of that stuff that, if we went and figured out how much we spent in a year on that stuff, we're probably looking at thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
Because, some of these reeds are $20 for one.
Wow.
That, like an oboe reed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You can get clarinet reeds for fairly cheap, but you go into oboes and stuff like that.
The bigger the instrument, the bigger the price tag.
Does the bassoon have a reed?
It does, yes.
Okay.
I believe, yes.
We're going to say yes.
Don't ask me. I have zero music ability. I don't know. I played the recorder in 4th grade.
Right.
And they told me you don't need to.
Oh, Mike.
I said, no, we don't need you. But again, it's February 11th.
February, yes.
Come on out, not September 11th. That's another day and another thing. But February 11th, here in about 2 weeks, it's a Saturday. Come out Saturday morning to Applebee's between 8 and 10. Support the Goddard High Band Boosters for their pancake breakfast, $10. And
you can get tickets from band members.
Okay, so if you see any band members, any boosters, do you guys have a Facebook page they can
we do
shoot a message on to?
I think it's Goddard Band Boosters is what it's called.
So if you do a search,
I
need
to put something on there.
Goddard High Band Boosters, maybe top an NM in there just in case another.
Yeah, it should be easy to find.
Yeah. And then once you do that, it should pop right in. And then if you have any questions or you're like, hey, I want to get a ticket, who wants to sell me a ticket? And then you'll probably get about 10 people say, I got you, come on over here.
Or you can always find the Roswell High Band page, and we will get you in touch with them.
You'll steer them around and say, hey, I want to get pancakes. It's like, great, go here. When you're done, come eat some spaghetti. But vice versa. I'm sure they'll like, I want to eat spaghetti. They're like, great, eat some pancakes first, and then we'll tell you how to eat some spaghetti.
Right, I have already bought my tickets to go.
I have already bought my tickets.
Yes, we're going to go eat pancakes, and they're going to come and eat spaghetti with us. So
there you go. Excellent.
We support each other.
Yes, we do.
Absolutely. But mark it on your calendars. February the 11th, that's Saturday. Got a full day, 8 to 10 for pancakes at Applebee's, and then get your tickets now. You've got till the 5th for the spaghetti, what's actually called Noodles and Notes event that's going to be happening at the Roswell High at high school at the gym there. It is at 6:30 p.m. Tickets or dinner is $20 for an individual, $35 for a couple, or there are a few tables left for sponsorship, and that's 8 for 175?
175, yes.
175, and that'll seat 8. So if you're like maybe you're a business or an organization, say, hey, we're going to take our staff out to treat them to dinner, or maybe you're a nonprofit and say the board's going to go and have dinner at Roswell High Saturday night and help the band there. So pancakes or if you like early board meetings, have them at Applebee's at 8 in the morning on a Saturday.
There you go.
And just be careful. Keep your paperwork separate. Oh, you got to be careful either way because you got sticky issues in the morning, but sauce is not exactly paperwork friendly either. So leave the work at home and just come and have
it.
Just have a good time.
Very good. Is there anything we missed? Anything, any information you wanted to share?
We had some kids from both schools go to Allstate at the beginning of this month.
Awesome.
We had some kids last weekend went to Hobbs, I believe, for all districts.
Nice.
And then we have some kids going to Las Cruces for the Great
American Southwest Honor Band.
Yeah.
I believe is what it's called.
Say that one more time, friend.
I think it's the Great American Southwest Honor Band. I don't know. It's
we
it's
have
been
two
a while.
great things that we're going to,
That
and I
sounds
don't
good.
remember which one. So
And
that almost sounds like an opera show or something. The Great American Southwest. I'm like,
and the kids had to audition for all of these things and make it into these bands.
Awesome.
So
Good for them.
we're really proud of them.
Just curious, is there scholarship money for band, like when you go to college and stuff?
Absolutely.
For sure.
I was just always curious about that because I know sports, they'll throw a bunch of money at you depending on the sport.
in Portales is really good about getting scholarships out.
Great.
So
We have
I'm glad to see that.
a lot of former band kids
Awesome.
up there, and I
I'm
mean
glad to see that.
NMSU also. They have a great band there too,
Nice.
and
Good. Because I was wondering about that because sports and everything, it's like football and then, but band, I'm like those kids work hard and granted I know they're not filling 100,000 seat stadiums to watch band performances. I get that, but at the same time, those kids are, those kids bust their hump and do it. So it's glad to see that they're getting their schooling paid for too.
Yes,
glad
absolutely.
To see that. Love that. That's awesome. Good deal. Excellent. Well, thank you guys. I did promise. I did promise, Denise. Go ahead.
Okay. Do I need to do it back here? Everybody's backing away.
Don't do it by the mic. She's brought cowbell. We got cowbell.
It is my trademark. I'm that mom, the cowbell
Yeah, if
mom.
you were at a Roswell High game on a Friday night, and odds are you've heard this at some point in the evening or so forth.
Okay.
All right.
Oh my goodness, I'm not going to hit you.
Well, I don't know. You do have a wide spread there. We don't want to take anybody out with this cowbell.
Okay, ready? Everybody, go Bears!
Perfect. See, that was perfect. There we go.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. And we'll see you guys Saturday the 11th. 0800 for pancakes, 6:30 for spaghetti at the Roswell High Gym. Again, go look for both Band Boosters Facebook pages. You'll find all your information there too. Don't forget, you've got till the 5th to get your tickets for spaghetti. Because they got to turn it into the cook so they know how much to get. If you space out on pancakes, just show up 8 o'clock. Or 9 o'clock on that morning, and someone will get you pancakes. You got $10,
right.
you get pancakes.
Yes, absolutely.
Very good. Thank you guys. Appreciate it. We'll see y'all again soon, okay?
Awesome. Thank you.
We'll see you then. All right, it is 7:50. Let us pause for news and a quick commercial break to pay for pancakes and spaghetti. Don't go away. We'll be back.
Now your Pecos Valley News Update. I'm Jared Cirillo. Roswell police are on the hunt for a man they say was responsible for firing a gun into a house with children inside it. Justino Martinez is wanted for the drive-by shooting on Tuesday at the home on East 5th Street in Roswell. Police said 3 kids ages 2 to 8 were inside the home. Thankfully, none of them were injured, despite dozens of bullet holes that riddled the house. The driver of the car has been arrested. That's a 16-year-old boy. Police are not releasing his name, but if you know where Justino Martinez is, call Roswell Police. And a key state commission that guides New Mexico's wildlife agency and oversees a multi-million-dollar budget that includes conservation, hunting, and fishing programs will not be able to do any business until the governor fills at least one of 4 outstanding vacancies. Game Commission Chair Deanna Archuleta submitted her resignation Monday, and that leaves the 7-member panel short of a quorum. Her announcement that she needed to devote more time to her job with a Washington, D.C.-based lobbying firm came less than 2 weeks after taking over as chair. You're up to date. I'm Jared Cirillo reporting.
Your morning espresso starts right here. It's the Sean Hannity Morning Minute.
2/3 of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. The average American household is paying $10,000 in Biden inflation tax. Gas prices are up 46%. Real wage growth is down. Heating and electric bills now at a 25-year high. Credit card debt is at an all-time record, a 15% jump in the third quarter. That's the highest in over 2 decades. America's trade deficit, the highest on record. GDP growth is down. Mortgage rates last week were at about 7% for a 30-year fixed. When he took office, it was only 2.7%. Americans are now paying more taxes than ever. And the question remains, are you better off now than you were 2 years ago?
The Sean Hannity Show from coast to coast later today.
My friend had his home stolen. The crime is home title theft. It's real. It's horrendous, but it's real, and it's everywhere. Now, luckily, this was just a demo, but I saw how criminals all around the world target American homeowners, and that's why I protect my home with Home Title Lock, and you need to as well. And a thief can simply forge your signature on a legal document claiming you sold your home to them. Homeowners insurance and common identity theft programs do not protect you, but Home Title Lock does. So protect yourself. Just go to their website. It's HometitleLock.com/Sean, SEAN. Verify your home's title is still safely in your name. Then just register your address for a free, no-obligation home title report for your files. That is a $100 value, absolutely free. That's HometitleLock.com/Sean, HometitleLock.com/Sean, SEAN.
This is Jason Espinoza with today's Capital Report. According to the Energy, Minerals, and Natural Resources Department, the 2022 wildfires and post-fire floods provided clear evidence that the needs of New Mexico's forests are broader than just timber production and fire suppression. House Bill 195, introduced by Representatives Matthew McQueen and Greg Neubert, and Senators Kerry Hamblin and Pat Woods, updates the Forest Conservation Act to recognize that the Energy, Minerals, and Natural Resources Department, Forestry Division, is the contracting agent for the state for forest fire suppression, rehabilitation and repair, post-fire slope stabilization, erosion control, riparian restoration, seeding, and reforestation of burned areas, as well as forest conservation and forest health. Advocates state the proposed update to the act is needed to memorialize that the state of New Mexico is authorized to access federal funding assistance to states under the Federal Cooperative Forestry Assistance Act of 1978. In addition to qualifying New Mexico to receive more federal funding, the legislation would also eliminate practices that conflict with today's firefighting safety standards and provide a clear mandate for forest conservation and climate change mitigation and adaptation. The bill is awaiting debate on the House floor. For the New Mexico News Network, I'm Jason Espinoza.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Rich Thomason. Russia has announced it will cut oil output by 500,000 barrels a day starting next month. Retaliation for Western countries capping the price of Russian crude. Congress delving into the December meltdown at Southwest Airlines. The Southwest executive tells lawmakers the airline upgrading its software this week to better respond to disruptions like major winter storms. The British economy stagnated in the final 3 months of last year. The Office for National Statistics says the gross domestic product, that's the broadest measure of economic activity, did not budge during the fourth quarter of 2022. Stocks drifting as Wall Street heads toward the close of its worst week since December. And the University of Michigan's closely watched Consumer Sentiment Index reaching its highest level in close to 1 year. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Rich Thomason.
Looking for a delicious lunch or dinner? Asian Market brings the flavors of the East to Roswell. Dine in or carry out. Sample the best Asian cuisine in town. Try their stir-fry rice with pork, chicken, beef, or all three. How about their pad thai chicken, sesame chicken, or sweet and sour chicken? Or try their glass noodle and Thai beef salad, all made fresh to order. Dine in or call ahead and pick up at the Asian Market today.
Hi, this is Nok. Come see me at Asian Market, 5702 South Main in Roswell. Call 575-840-5309.
Lots of folks are buying used vehicles these days. And you know, they're just as proud of them as if they were brand new. And why not? The pre-owned cars and trucks at Roswell Ford look and smell brand new. And Roswell Ford stands behind every pre-owned vehicle with a 3-day money-back guarantee and a complimentary 90-day 4,000-mile warranty. Roswell Ford has more than 400 vehicles in stock, by far the biggest selection in this part of the state, with new Fords arriving all the time. So it only makes sense to come see us first when you're ready to start car shopping. Speaking of pride, our customers are just tickled with our mobile service van that comes to your home or work and turns your driveway or parking lot into a service bay. We can take care of routine maintenance like oil and filter changes, tire rotations, and battery service, and you don't have to be without your vehicle. Of course, some restrictions apply. For great selection and great service, you can count on your friends at the Tailgate Nation.
ENMU Roswell offers high school students the opportunity to get a head start on their college education journey into healthcare. Through the Allied Health Careers Pathway, high school learners can enroll in dual credit courses that introduce them to a wide range of careers that include emergency medical technician, paramedic, nursing, occupational therapy, respiratory therapy, medical assisting, phlebotomy, and nursing assistant. Start your healthcare career path at ENMU Roswell. Contact your high school counselor for more information.
Heart disease is one of the leading causes of death in New Mexico, but it's preventable. If you have high blood pressure or cholesterol, are overweight, smoke, or have other risk factors, it's time to talk to a cardiologist. The cardiology team at Artesia General Hospital has the experience and latest diagnostic technologies to help you identify your risk factors and diagnose and treat any heart health concerns you might face. One beat at a time, we're here for every heart. Request your cardiology appointment today at artesiageneral.com/heart.
The great one, Mark Levin, is now in Roswell on 106.5 KEND Roswell.
breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm John Scott. Having gained the majority in the House, Republicans wasting no time digging into allegations of the political weaponization of government by the Biden team. Ohio's Jim Jordan chairs a special subcommittee that's launched a series of hearings, and he says the agenda is packed.
Americans have concerns about the double standard at the Department of Justice. Americans have concerns about the Disinformation Governance Board that the Department of Homeland Security tried to form. Americans have concerns about the ATF and what they're doing to the Second Amendment. And of course, they have concerns about the IRS and the thousands of new agents who are coming to that organization. And finally, there are concerns about what we've learned in the Twitter files.
Jordan says Republicans have heard from dozens and dozens of FBI whistleblowers with grave concerns about alleged political corruption within the agency.